3, 2, 1. A man can miss a lot of things when he doesn't take the time to look around. I can feel my nasal passages start to open. There was a lot of pressure on me, man. 162 episodes. I've never done it. Okay, yeah, I got to give you some credit there.
All right.
But it's because I was also confused because I was changing character. I don't know if you're remembering what I got.
Well, that's you got to think about that beforehand.
Yeah,
you got to think about the simplicity of it. That's how you decide.
Yeah, this is way too complex. But I got to finish it now, right?
Okay.
Let me do the second line. I can feel my nasal passages start to open up. I can breathe. I can actually breathe. That's a famous quote from A Talking Pony.
A Talking Pony?
Thank you. I need your energy to give the title justice.
I mean, yeah, there's no other way to say it.
Yeah.
I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks. This is Sardonicast.
I'm Alex from IHG, and yeah, be kind to me for my first little attempt at opening there.
Yeah.
You know? It's hard work.
Everybody only ever sees the end result of perfection and discipline, and no one ever sees the steps you take to get there.
You're like practicing that in the mirror for like 4 hours before
that's all
we record
I do.
every time.
In between episodes, I'm like,
yeah, I've got to nail this.
I've got to get the intro right. I don't just wing it every day at this point, especially. So yeah, we saw a lovely duology, but first we're going to talk about a couple other things. We went to the United States of America.
We did.
And
the city that never sleeps.
Is that what they call it?
I've been calling it the city of fuck. That's what I've been calling it.
Okay. There do be fucking going on in that city. I mean, every city.
Yeah, I mean it in every way you can interpret that word.
Fuckery.
Yeah. Just fuckery, yeah. It's just out of pocket, though. It's crazy.
Pretty fucked. We can't say it too many times in a row. We'll get demonetized. Anyway, So there's a convention in Las Vegas, Nevada, United States. Mm-hmm. Las Vegas FurCon. And it was happening around someone's birthday. And we wanted to go, and I brought Alex, and Alex brought his brother.
Hi, my bro.
Mm-hmm. And a bunch of people went. We got Olivia from who manages the Highlights channel, and it was a fun time. I stayed there longer than anybody else, but I'm like a seasoned convention goer / hotel stayer.
Yeah, you know what's up.
And I know I need like an extra day at the beginning to like get settled and just adjust myself, get my room in order, get my snacks, my drinks. Mm-hmm. We did a bunch of shit. A lot of stuff I'd already done before, but it was like, okay, well, I've got some first timers with me. Alex had never been to Vegas. It's not like I go often, but I've been there 3 or 4 times.
I was very thankful to have like a guide or someone who knew what was up. Mm-hmm. So I appreciated the group with all the different Vegas knowledge. So I kind of got to fast track and be caught up to speed on like the best casinos to go, or the shows to see, or the best place to get a drink here, or blah blah. The $2 hot dog and Pabst.
The $2 like hot dog and Pabst is like the highlight of the trip.
Yeah, I'm telling everybody about this.
A big hot dog.
That was so sick.
And a Pabst beer for $2.
But yeah, you can't make it up. Ugh.
What was the place called? It was near Fremont, and it was called something Grand. I'm gonna look it up on my phone right now, just for anybody.
Oh, what was it? I remember looking at the poker chips with it on there. It was something Grand.
Yeah, hold on, I got it here. Downtown Grand Hotel and Casino.
That's the one.
So Fremont is like old Vegas. It's cooler than the new Strip. The new Strip is just like somehow more predatory, but way more expensive. And also just way more difficult to get around. Like old Vegas, you can walk across a street, which is nice. There are streets that you can walk with crosswalks and stuff. Whereas like the Strip, you have to go up an escalator and then like across a bridge or like through another casino, and like everything's intentionally a maze and they're just trying to trap you there.
Yeah, as a Brit, like these American roads, they are cursed.
Yeah.
Like you just want to cross the road and it takes like 20 minutes. So what are you doing? What is this infrastructure?
It's built for cars.
Yeah. They just like don't want people walking. It's so crazy.
And then they just decide not to have like a functional public transit system also. They're like, you can't walk anywhere. You need a car.
You have to Uber.
You can't really bus or train very easily. You have to go out of your fucking way.
And like your hotel room was, if there wasn't traffic, you could probably walk to it from where I was staying. Maybe 3 minutes. But it would take like 15, 20 minutes just because of that stupid system they use over there.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's a lot of... the same problem exists in quite a few cities in Canada. Maybe not to the extent of Vegas, for sure.
Yeah.
But Canada has, like, at least, you know, good public transit in most places. Good compared to America. Maybe not as good compared to, like...
Yeah, it doesn't help that the vehicles that are rocketing around as well are like these just mega trucks.
Oh,
like vehicles so big they can't actually exist on the road in the UK. We saw some Cybertrucks. That was pretty funny. Pretty cringy. It's just like... There is this... The best way I've been describing Vegas to people, to those who haven't been, is kind of like... You know how in North Korea, where they build like fake supermarkets to try and trick people, that it's like they're not hiding something, you know? It's like that, but instead of trying to hide a scary government, it's just to try and trick people into spending money.
Yeah.
And it works. That's the scariest part.
It's like a Disney World, but like somehow more evil.
Everything feels like a film set. Like nothing feels real. It's so surreal, and you're constantly in this trickle of like booze, and you're smoking, and it's just like oxygen being pumped into like every room you're going in.
No clocks. You're walking, like, no windows.
Yeah, no clocks anywhere. No windows. Like fake skies painted indoors, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm in Paris right now. Nope, I'm in Italy.
Oh, there's the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it's so surreal and strange.
Yeah.
But addictive as well. Like it taps into that like monkey brain.
It's great to do once. It's great to experience and be like, wow, this is really interesting.
I could, because you can feel that pull of like, gambling has never really been my bug, but man, when you're there, when you're in it, when you're making a few wins at the table and you get that dopamine rush and you're like, ooh.
It's fun. It's like playing a video game.
This is fun. I can see how people wind up remortgaging their houses. Yeah, it is like a video game.
Yeah.
Straight up.
That's why you just keep it in Vegas. Don't bring your habits back home. And also, anybody going to Vegas, take out exactly how much money you're willing to spend the entire trip. Yeah. And then don't hit the ATM again. If you lost it, you lost it. Suck it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do not hit the ATM a second time. Know exactly how much your budget is.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the way to do it. And I was happy I didn't come back in negative with the gambling.
Oh, yeah?
Which is cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was pleased about that.
Yeah, we didn't just gamble the whole time.
No.
We obviously ate hot dogs and beer. We went to... Actually, I'm just going to look... I have this whole thing scheduled out because I plan things. Mm-hmm. So I can actually look at the schedule that I made and remind myself exactly everything that was done. All right, we did...
Escape room?
First, I flew in on the Tuesday before you got there. We hit up a big weed dispensary.
Hell yeah.
You can buy weed. The legality... It's legal in Nevada, but like I think you're just not supposed to smoke it in public.
Yeah, they really just don't care that it's Vegas.
Yeah, the weed was for not me. I don't smoke weed, not for any moral reasons. I have to be in the right mood, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a fucking all-you-can-eat lobster buffet the day before you got there. That was
yummy.
Really good, actually. I mean, usually you don't want to do like seafood at a buffet, depending on what buffet you're at, especially like, I don't know, a landlocked place like Nevada. I would say avoid the seafood if you're in like Reno. Mm-hmm. But in Vegas, it was at the Palms Casino Resort. It was like you could get as many lobster tails as you want, and just that alone was like, okay, I'm getting a value out of this. And there were some really good things. They had an espresso ice cream that was really good.
Mm.
But yeah, I would recommend that buffet. And it was like, what, $65 per person or something? It was like between 65 and it was no more than 85.
Okay, that's not too bad.
But then if you order a lobster tail at any other restaurant,
lobster's expensive,
which is like already going to be like $35+ at least. You eat like 4 of them, you've made your money back basically. And then Alex arrived that night with Jamie. We immediately went to the Cosmo.
Yeah.
Even though we only had like a couple hours before we wanted to go to bed, we got the verbena cocktail, which is like a weird tequila, citrusy kind of sweet drink, but it has like a flower, like a plant, like bulb thing,
fruit thing. What was it called again?
I don't remember.
I was trying to remember.
I remember the cocktail name, verbena, Verbena.
Okay.
And then you chew the thing, and then it tingles your tongue, and then it changes the flavor palette of the drink. And if you don't know what to expect, you might be thinking you're having an allergic reaction, but no, that's just the tingly action.
That was wild.
Coating your tongue. Then the next day, we went to the fucking sugar factory at noon, and that was extra, as in, obviously in the name, just a bunch of sugar. We kind of, by the name alone, my boyfriend fucking loves sugar. And so that was just for him.
Went to the right place. They had like Snoop Dogg on the wall and like the Kardashians.
Oh yeah, a bunch of celebrities on the wall.
I'd forgotten it's like a big influencer celebrity hotspot, that place in Vegas. Like I had heard of it before, but I just didn't put 2 and 2 together.
It's for the gram or whatever.
Yeah.
And although the drinks were mostly stupid and too sugary, there were some that were good. They were like the coconut margarita was actually not bad. And the hamburger sliders were actually good.
Yeah, they were. The SpongeBob ones. They were nice, yeah.
Yeah, they were multicolored buns for no reason, but
like green, red, yeah.
Those were actually delicious. Those were like maybe, I don't know if I can think of like a more satisfying, like better slider that I've had.
I mean, yeah.
Like just like a burger slider, a regular burger slider. It worked really well.
Yeah, it did.
Then we went outside and we hopped inside the Taco Bell Cantina, which is, if you haven't been to the state, this is in a few places in the States. They have a Taco Bell where you can drink in it. It's just Taco Bell that serves alcohol. And so it's like, the seating's a little more modern, I guess. It still feels like a fucking fast food restaurant, but you can order a Mountain Dew Baja Blast slushie and put like 2 shots of rum in it. Like you can order it with the rum and it's so good. Like I don't drink Mountain Dew on its own. I don't drink Baja Blast or anything, but that slushie with rum, it's like the perfect way to drink it. It's so satisfying. And you get it in like a fucking 3-foot long dumbass like plastic novelty container.
Yeah, it's perfect in that desert heat as you're walking around.
True, yeah. Also, Vegas is way too dry. I was applying lip balm like every fucking 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, I was like, cracking up like dry SpongeBob in the movie.
Yeah, that was dumb. And then we went to Fremont for a little bit. We checked that out, and then Alex and Jamie went to bed early. Because they were jet lagged and other reasons.
Yeah.
And then I stayed up and I partied with furries at the fucking Area 15 thing, and that was really cool. Stayed up really late. Next day, we went to the It Chapter 2 escape room.
This was fun.
This was fun, although I will say the same company, their best escape rooms easily are the Saw escape room and the It Chapter 1 escape room. It Chapter 2 was a little underwhelming compared to what the Chapter 1 was.
Yeah. Saw is perfect though.
Yeah.
I need to do that one day.
Yeah. It's worth the trip because just the idea of Saw, like it already fits the concept of an escape room. But yeah, so if you've ever been to an escape room, there's a lot of like local ones you might see in like any city or around the world, but they're not nearly as elaborate or high effort. The escape rooms from this company, Escape It, or like the Blair Witch, Saw, and It are basically their 3 ones. There's a lot of effort put into the rooms. There's a lot of effort put into like the design of each room and like just the amount of rooms you go through. It's a fun, interesting experience, and would definitely recommend.
Yeah, it's like a big production. I've done an escape room. I did one in like 2019 that was quite quaint and like Doctor Who themed, and it was cute or whatever. But this is like everything in Vegas.
It's like really tiny room.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything in Vegas. This is just like a big production, basically. Big animatronics, multiple rooms all themed differently. There's different challenges and whatnot. Yeah, that was cool.
And then we did some convention stuff. We waited in a line to like get a wristband that had like maybe 15 people in line, but took like an hour and a half to move for no reason.
Yeah, the jet lag was hitting.
That sucked. That had no like most furry conventions. Sure, there can like the size of a con can be like, okay, this line's like 300 people, but they have systems to get the line to the front. And if you're waiting for a while, it's because there's a lot of people. This con registration was a fucking breeze. The registration took like 10 minutes to get through the line. And then this stupid other line to get your ID. I don't know what the hell they were doing. It was like they were just like thoroughly checking. Like, I don't know. They were doing like a fucking pH test on like your ID. Like, I don't know what they were doing. It was so weird.
Although it happened again with the NHS app betraying me.
Oh, like, no.
To prove my vaccine status, where like it happened when I was in Canada. I thought I had screenshots. I did screenshot it, but I didn't. I didn't have my name in the fucking screenshot. So I had to load up the app, and the app kept crashing, and I literally had to stand there for like 15 minutes refreshing.
Damn,
waiting for it. It's like, man.
I tried to foolproof it for you.
I know. I still fucked it up.
Yeah, it's okay. Next day, we didn't have a lot planned for these days because we were like, oh, the con's going on sort of thing. And we had some days after the con where we could do more like outside Vegas stuff. I think we went to the pinball museum this day.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that was really cool. I'd never heard of that before. That's a cool location. Because I've always wanted to. I kind of missed the whole like arcade culture. I was like right at the tail end, like when I was born. So hearing like the stories of my dad and playing original Space Invaders and whatnot, it was cool to go and play some real old arcade machines and pinball machines. It was a really cool place, actually. It's like a big Lebowski pinball machine, like an old Episode 1 pod racer thing. It was like, this is tickling all this nostalgic kind of stuff for me.
The branding for these is really interesting because there's a lot where timeline-wise, you'd think, like, why would they make a pinball machine out of this? Like, surely there aren't that many people.
But Avatar was there, right?
Like, they're really niche kind of things, but they exist. There's a really good YouTube channel that I love called Technology Connections, and they made a couple of interesting videos on just like the ins and outs of early pinball machines and how they work. Have you ever checked out that channel? It's one of my favorites. It's really good.
No, I haven't heard of it, no.
Yeah, it's great. Open up a tab, check it out later. They're awesome. And what else did we do that day? I don't know. It wasn't on my schedule, whatever we did. I think we walked around and
I think we went exploring. That was the Fallout themed room party, right?
Oh, maybe. I think that was the night before, actually. With the
drinks. Yeah, it's in there. So this is kind of the Vegas thing as well. Like, it puts you in the Vegas blur. Everything's just like a kind of blurs together.
Yeah, there were some cool room parties at the convention. Some people, not every convention, but most conventions, they'll have like a theme for the year. This one was like nuclear wasteland Fallout, and so everybody like did Fallout shit, and so the room parties would like they would basically make all these Fallout themed drinks, and they were really good drinks at the room parties.
Putting a glow stick in it, making it look like infected or whatever.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully not a leaking glow stick.
Yeah.
And then at one point we went back to Fremont, and I showed Alex the Heart Attack Grill, which we did not go inside and order anything from, but the windows were open. You know, like the side of the restaurant was open.
Yeah, I don't think you could make me. I don't know if you could pay me to go there.
I think I could make you if I lied about what it was. I think if I said, no, it's really good, then you would go. But I couldn't do that to you because it makes you feel sick and it's not even like satisfying. It's like, oh wow, they caked all the burgers in lard and you have to get all the extra bacons if you want it to be worth your while because it's like the burger's like fucking $15, but then
it's making me feel sick.
You can have 10 slices of bacon for 97 cents. It's like, well, I guess I have to do that to recoup my losses.
And they spank you if you can't finish your food, and all the waiters are like dressed up in nurse.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Outfits.
Yeah, they make you show. They like change you into a hospital gown. They like put that over your clothes, and you have to eat there. If you're over 350 pounds, you eat for free. There's a scale right outside.
Yeah, man, there's so many things in Vegas that are just like a parody of itself, and that's another example of it. So I can't believe this exists.
It's the perfect place for it.
Yeah, it belongs there.
Yeah, because I think they've only ever had one restaurant, but they've changed location a couple times. I think they started in like Arizona or something.
I believe it.
Yeah, all of their spokespeople keep dying because they keep only hiring morbidly obese people, and then they just eat at the restaurant, and that finishes them.
It's so morbid.
Yeah, but then they sell cigarettes there. They sell the shots.
Oh, I didn't know
do
that.
Shots of alcohol in prescription pill bottles instead of shot glasses. You can get like a liter of red wine in an IV bag that you just like stick a straw in your mouth. They have the the nurses like administered Jello shots like through syringes into your mouth.
Yeah, I hadn't had a Jello shot before. You fed me
that was funny.
Shits. Oh god, they're so disgusting.
They are disgusting, but they're funny. I don't know what it is about them that makes me compelled to keep
tickles you.
I'm like, oh, there's Jello shots there.
Maybe this flavor won't kill.
No, I never expect it to taste good.
They're like difficult to even like consume.
Yeah, they're nonsense. On Sunday we did Ka by Cirque du Soleil, a crazy fucking show, probably the best show in Vegas. In my opinion.
Oh, incredible. Utterly incredible. Never seen anything like it, really. Just like an absolute celebration of all these different disciplines coming together. And it's like, it's almost overwhelming at points. Like it's like the fact you're even seeing it, talking about that Vegas haze. It's like putting me in a dream state. This is so like incredible what I'm seeing. This big hydraulic platform that they like integrate all these different like set designs and uses out of. Like 1 minute it's a beach, the next minute it's a tower that they're climbing, next minute it's a boat. It's like so creative, and the staging of all of it, and the live music combined with the singing and the physical strength, and it's just utterly incredible. Yeah, that blew my mind.
It's very cool, and I love there's like these there's some characters that they're in like costumes, like one's a starfish, one's a turtle, and one's like a crab.
Yeah.
And they're all really great performers. Like you can the expression of these characters and how they move conveys so much intent and emotion and personality, which really adds to it. And then you have, some people that are just like so physically insane. Just like dangling off of each other from like fucking 50, 100 feet. Like how high do you think they were? Because the top of the stage, they would go. Sometimes they would disappear into like the top of the stage.
Yeah.
That was like really high up.
It was like it must be like 6 stories high, maybe higher. Like it's
I think
ridiculous.
higher than that. Honestly.
Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
And the stage is like moving and hydraulic. And so the performers have to put a lot of faith into the mechanics and engineering and structural integrity of this moving platform that, if it didn't do the things at the right time,
the timing is crucial to all of it.
Yeah, they injured at the very least.
And that was another thing, like the pace of it. It was, I said this on Jar, I think, like it's what you want from a perfect like action movie, where it's always outdoing itself, and I felt like the show did that perfectly. Like it crescendos in scale, that's getting more and more absurd in what they're pulling off. Then it ends. It's like, this is just perfect. Yeah,
I love Cirque du Soleil. I've never seen a bad Cirque du Soleil show, but that one's my favorite for sure.
Yeah, I can't imagine it, but yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah. Then we did Top Golf.
That was fun too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Scoot swing.
How do we describe it to people that have never done it?
It's kind of like a Vegas's interpretation of a driving range, you know?
Yeah.
Add the colors, add the neon. It's in the middle of the big city. You can see the big buildings and skyscrapers in the background. You're just smacking golf balls, sometimes with integrated Angry Birds minigames.
Yeah.
Weird stuff like that.
You're smacking golf balls, and then there's some sort of tracking system that detects where your golf balls land, and you can like get more points, and then it keeps the score, and then you have usernames and all that shit. Yeah, that was very fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Next day, we went to wait, did we go to a tiki bar before the Sphere? No, we went to the tiki bar before Ka. That tiki bar was fucking funny. We're back on the Saturday. My friend San loves tiki bars. He's a tiki bar addict. And so he had to bring us to this tiki bar called Frankie's. And the drinks are very strong.
Extremely strong. I could only have one. Yeah.
Yeah, filled with sugar. Mm-hmm. And there are some characters that go to this bar by themselves and just get absolutely plastered and make other people uncomfortable.
Oh, the water guy.
It's a part of the experience.
But yeah, what was his problem?
I was like, I was ordering drinks. I was like, okay, and also some waters because I'm a responsible human being and I want to keep hydrated as well. And he's like, oh, water guy over here. Water. I'm like...
Yeah, he was just being an asshole for no reason.
I hate to break it to you, but your drink has water in it too. like your ice cubes.
He didn't like it though when you said that. He did not like it.
Well, he got quiet and then kind of angry and then just kept to himself a bit more. And then he like showed up to the table and was like harassing Olivia. And then he like followed us out. And
I didn't see
the
that.
Uber. Oh no, yeah. When the Uber was picking us up,
outside.
he like went up to my window before we like drove away and just like mumbled some shit. And, like I couldn't even understand him. But
yeah, he was wasted. He was utterly wasted.
Yeah, like by himself too. It's like, okay. I hope you figure out whatever in your life is causing this, but you know. Yeah. Next day, the Vegas Sphere.
Yes.
Where we saw a film from Darren Aronofsky.
Darren's new one.
A documentary.
Yeah, what is it? Noah Part 2?
I mean...
what do you call it?
Yeah, there was a bit of Noah in it. Postcard from Earth.
That's right.
Is what it's called. And so... When you buy your overpriced tickets for this big-ass fucking Sphere thing, it's set... So there's two things you could possibly see. Is this... And I'm a Darren Aronofsky fan, so obviously I'm going to do this. Or you could see a U2 concert. Not huge into YouTube.
I'm good.
I saw, some people took some videos from their phone and posted it on Reddit or somewhere, and I was like, oh, interesting. There's things, there's like colors all over the thing. Yeah. So that could be a cool place to see a concert. Just like, I wish it was not U2.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Postcard from Earth was definitely, I guess before we even talk about the movie, they say, so the time for doors was 4:30. We showed up at 4:25.
Oh yeah, this was annoying.
And then there was a huge fucking line outside that they don't like let in until, so like apparently you're supposed to get there way before if you want to check out anything in the atrium. So on the ticket it says, oh, the first hour, just check out the atrium. And there's a lot of interactive cool stuff, apparently. And then the second hour is like the actual film. The film,
Yeah.
But we didn't. We were there before the 4:30 doors. We arrived in line at 4:25. We got inside at 5:05. So we were literally in line for 40 minutes before we got in the building.
It was 40 minutes. Wow.
Literally, yeah. I timed it.
And even then, like the experience thing, like there didn't seem to be much
the atrium
going
was
on with that.
Fucking stupid. It was so dumb.
What was the point? It was like people were queuing up to be like scanned, like their bio data being scanned or something weird like that. And then there was like a little robot like doing a awkward jig.
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
The robot. I think I wrote down. Did I write down what the robot said? I don't know. I recorded a video or something. But the robot was like, "Get ready to be amazed," and then it just like pivoted a little. I'm like, this is something that you would see in like the background of one of those like moving on a track Disney park rides in like the 1980s. Like this doesn't even resemble new technology. This is disgusting.
Yeah, the animatronics in the escape room were more impressive than in the Sphere.
Yeah. So that was fucking bullshit. And so it's a huge atrium where, you know, credit where credit is due. You didn't have to wait very long for a drink because there's a lot of space and a lot of bars.
Mm-hmm.
The drinks were very expensive.
That would do it, yeah. $30 drink or whatever.
Yeah, definitely not the hot dog and Pabst deal.
No.
Ooh, I forgot to mention about that hot dog. You could put as many fucking onions or sauerkraut or condiments on it as you wanted. They had a whole fucking tray for that shit. Just scoop on the onions. There was more onion than hot dog for me.
Mm-hmm. I was just about there too. Oof, making me hungry a bit.
It was, yeah. That is that's like top value of the decade for me.
Yeah, we went there like multiple times.
Yeah,
we did that deal like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, we literally went back for that because like there would be points where it's like, well, we should probably eat something, and then it's like, well, it's probably cheaper to just Uber there than buy anything in close by. So we did that a few times. I got 2 of those hot dogs and 2 beers, and I was like, I'm good for a while. Anyway, the atrium in the Sphere was fucking stupid. It was just
really dumb. Pointless. Yeah.
Then the show starts, and you know, anybody who's seen pictures of the Vegas Sphere from the outside, on the inside, it's also a big screen, and so you're kind of immersed in this 360 degree, but not quite, because you can't see behind yourself, as in you can't see like through the seats and the crowd. Yeah, there's definitely seats and crowd, but it's mostly, you know, you can look straight up and there's stuff. And essentially what he filmed, I was enjoying it for the first bit. The intro was awful. The intro was like...
The intro and outro were really bad.
Yeah. So they had an intro and outro where they were like trying to inject some sort of story. And there were 2 characters. They're like, We're in space because the Earth is dying, so we gotta find a different thing. And they were trying to be all, I don't know, this sappy kind of emotional, like weird tone to it, and this narrator that just kept
the
just
narration was very corny, very
corny.
Yeah,
and the effects for the intro and outro were like, this is not.
Some rough CG.
Looking CG.
Yeah.
Like you made this specifically for the Sphere, and the Sphere is like what, less than a year old?
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, I don't know why it needed that at all. Like the title postcards from Earth, like that kind of does the trick, to be honest. Like when it is just a slideshow of like landscape shots, I'm there. I'm kind of into it. Like it's a big tech flex and it's all overpriced and whatnot, but it's definitely like an experience involving screens that I've never had before.
Yeah,
there was something quite cool about that. And they're like blasting you with air as you're like flying over deserts, and I like the focus on like animals and whatnot, and you could get like really cool shots set up where you're kind of like in an enormous cave or something with the water droplets dripping, and obviously the quality of the screen is really high. So it really does trick your brain at points. You're like moving almost like on a roller coaster. Yeah, there was something cool about it.
Yeah, you kind of get vertigo in some of the shots where like it tilts down over like a canyon.
Yeah, I thought, and the reveal shot is quite cool where it starts in a normal expected aspect ratio, and then as it gets to the point where it's introducing the postcard montage, the Earth kind of zooms in outside of the aspect ratio and kind of comes at the audience, and it has quite a strange effect to it, as you were saying, right? Yeah. If you get a little burst of adrenaline, you're like, you feel the wind flowing by, and it's quite a unique experience that it's not best utilized with this for sure, but there is something that's going to be done with this that's going to be really cool.
Is there though? I don't know, because I feel like I read something like the people that made the Sphere are like trying to figure out how to monetize it. like
you would have thought they'd plan that first.
I think it's not successful, but we'll see, because right now there's only 2 things you can watch, and one of them is like,
and there were a lot of empty seats when we went.
It wasn't like a packed thing. They didn't make like a movie that everybody's got to see. You know what they should really do is just get like a real director. Well, I mean, Aronofsky is a real director. Mm-hmm. Get like fucking James Cameron or like Christopher Nolan and make something that has like a narrative and maybe something that you could also release in regular theaters, but you'll never get the true experience unless you see it in the Sphere. Because people go see the IMAX version of Dune. People see the IMAX version of Oppenheimer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of like when I was younger and would go to like the Science Museum in London, and they'd do tailor-made kind of screenings on their IMAX screen there. But they were only like half an hour long or whatever. Yeah, I guess it is kind of restricted by the big kind of gimmicky, flashy Vegas nature of it, where it's so big, the prices are going to be quite high, I guess, and making that sustainable is a bit challenging.
Yeah, the cheapest tickets were $100 US for this hour-long film and dicking around in a like dated bullshit like atrium.
Really, the film was 1 hour long.
The film was 55 minutes long. It was less than an hour.
Yeah, with like 10 minutes of that being the cringy beginning and end section.
And so the style of the film at its core, like the majority of it, is like a bunch of different nature shots, some moving, some, micro and macro. You get like the big canyon and mountains, you get the sky, you get like insects, and there were a couple notable moments. So like some of them, they would get like really small and you would see like
jumping spider.
Yeah, one shot had a spider, and then for no reason they just CG'd it jumping at the audience. Like, wow, like because they're trying to.
You thought that was CG?
I thought that they had a real spider, and then the jumping motion was CG. Yes.
See, I thought it was real, but I could be wrong.
No, I think the spider was really there, and then they used the real spider as a reference, and then manipulated it with CG to do the jumping motion towards the camera.
Okay.
Maybe it jumped somewhere in the frame, but they definitely manipulated it to be, because that was like a perfectly centered jump,
like,
at the lens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, can you train a spider to do like? Maybe. I don't know.
Crazy stuff's going on in Hollywood.
So that was dumb and unnecessary, because it was like, whoa, it's coming right at you. And then the sound design was really weird, because there were definitely Foley artists trying to be like, okay, we're making a sound for everything. Like, you're underwater, there's like bubbly. But there was one shot where like there was a fish out of like 10 fish on the screen. There was one that opened its mouth, just doing a thing that fish do. They open their mouths sometimes. And the Foley team decided, oh, he should be screaming. And it sounded just like a guy screaming. It was like, ah, like underwater. I was like, what the did you just get one of the Foley guys to just actually scream? Like, that's not what a fit. That
is what it sounded like.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That was
so weird. And it was just
weird.
Obscured enough like to make you question it. That was hilarious. We were like, looking at each other like, what are you hearing that?
And nothing else in the film is like that.
Yeah, nothing else.
Yeah. So it's not like a funny, like
it's not like intentional, yeah.
Smiling friends, the cutaway of the bird on the tree that screams. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like that where it's like, oh, this is a gag. This is like, what were you thinking? Because this doesn't seem like it's trying. The whole tone of this is way more serious. But you got that screaming fish, which was the funniest shit in the world. That was worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Just the screaming fish. And then there were these two really old people seated in the front row that recorded the entire thing, literally from start to finish, unbroken, sitting next to each other, both recording the exact same spot on the screen, and not capturing the totality of the screen. So, like, absolutely pointless.
It'd be impossible to,
because they're in portrait mode, and he's not even moving it around to see like, oh, there's things on the left and the right, and he's just literally just have the camera was just forward the whole time.
Who's that for? When are you going to watch that again?
I don't know. Maybe he'll upload it somewhere, but I don't know who that's for.
So, yeah, trying to maximize value.
That was such a bizarre thing, and so he was funny, and the wife was funny too, because she didn't know that that her phone light was on, that the flashlight was on. Thankfully, it wasn't that distracting because the screen is taking up so much of the room. Like the room is bright when there's bright images on the screen, so it's not that distracting for someone else to be doing something. Mm-hmm. But that was just I got a lot of enjoyment out of them.
That is funny. Yeah.
They were my favorite.
I thought it was a cool experience. I'm glad I went. But I don't think I'm going to rush back. Yeah. It's just too overpriced, and that first half is really stupid.
For me to go back to the Sphere, they'll have to get like fucking Denis Villeneuve releasing Dune Part 3 or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be there for that.
But I guess just a couple more comments on this film, because I was a little pissed off about halfway into it, because like, it was pretty apparent that it was trying to be like the Qatsi trilogy, like Koyaanisqatsi, and then the same producers of those did things like Samsara. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, like you're trying to be this, whatever. I guess that the screen justifies like the difference. You could say it's like in the same vein or genre or whatever. But then as it goes along, I'm like, okay, there are exact shots that are being replicated here. Like now it's a little too close for comfort. Some of the like sped up crowd motion shots and the way that the time lapse kind of like had motion blur effect with them. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's exactly from Koyaanisqatsi. And then as the film was going on, like in those sections where the visuals were like way too close, the soundtrack was trying way too hard to sound like Philip Glass from Koyaanisqatsi. And it was like, okay, this isn't just temp music. This is a temp movie. So Aronofsky was clearly told by somebody, do this. And that's what he did. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of frustrating, because if you're putting his name on the fucking poster and the marketing and everything, you would want to see something from him. Like you would want to see some expression from the filmmaker that you enjoy. But no, he was just director for hire in a way that like Terrence Malick would have done a better job. Mm-hmm. You know, like he was director for hire in a way that he wasn't the best person for the job. It's not like Aronofsky is known for this type of style of filmmaking at all.
No. Yeah, the most Aronofsky parts are the beginning and end, and not in like ways that you really want.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of like Noah tier.
Yeah. Then they had literally, I was so pissed off. They had shots where they went to the exact same locations as Samsara. So they did anybody who's seen that film, they literally went to the fucking the abandoned house with all the sand inside.
The door, frame and frame. Yeah.
And so I went back to like the shot, because I included a little clip in my 2012 review, 2012 best of the year list. And I was like, yeah, this is the same location. So they literally just used these movies as a reference, and then not only emulated the style, but literally just went to the same spots, which pissed me off so much. I was like, you motherfucker. Just do it. Yeah. So 5 out of 10 for Postcard from Earth, because in some ways it does its job, but
yeah, it's carried by the gimmick of the orb.
Yeah, literally just a gimmick movie. Mm-hmm. It pisses me off.
Yeah, I hear.
Very frustrating experience, and then just underwhelming, especially with the intro and outro being like, it didn't even seem like Aronofsky directed those. Like that was way cheesier than anything Aronofsky has ever made. The acting was bad in those sections.
Oh yeah, none of it really aesthetically came together with that.
Yeah,
that stuff. Yeah,
love wins. It's love.
yeah, because there's the whole section where it becomes really kind of dour about like global warming, and then it like quickly hand waves it like, no, but we're skipping to the future where we kind of solve that easy. Everything's cool for the families.
We had something in our pocket the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. This weird like orb ball thing like comes floating up, and they're like, the orb ball saved everything.
we had an entire planet terraforming device in our pocket.
Yeah,
and love and capitalism wins.
Yeah, that's right. That was the takeaway. Yeah, it was quite a weird ending.
Oh,
quite
man.
a weird ending.
And it's funny because There's some rides in Disney World. There's two that I can think of. One is, I forget the title of it. It's called like Atop the World or like a Voyage, but I don't remember what it is. But essentially they strap you into these like suspended, almost kind of like swing-ish seats, like swing bench seats. And then they lift you up like fucking 40 feet and you're strapped in. And then you see like a huge screen in front of you and it's curved and it's not a sphere in the sense that you can like see directly up.
Yeah.
But you're getting the same experience, and that was a better film because it didn't bullshit and pretend to be something else, and it was just literally like, oh yeah, across the world, and you got what you paid for, and it did its job better.
That sounds crazy, yeah.
And that was just a Disney World ride. That was fun. I liked that a lot. Another one I can think of, the fucking Avatar ride at Disney World. That was way more immersive, way better. It's like you're flying on a fucking one of the Dagons or whatever. You're like the music and the we the same air effects. Like, oh, you're going through a windy part, and then you feel the wind, and it's like, oh wow, I really feel like I'm there, like I'm a Na'vi.
You become one. Yeah.
They give you smell-o-vision.
Oh man, my like Disney World tech understanding is super out of date. I think it last went in the early 2000s, so it's probably got all sorts of craziness.
Got to do it.
Let's
do it next year.
Hell yeah.
Let's plan for it. I'll open a tab.
Fuck yeah.
Disney World with Alex. And then, so after the Sphere, we went to a restaurant called Best Friend, which...
real good.
Out of every... There's one menu item there that influences my entire opinion of the entire restaurant, basically.
Rice.
The fried rice, the kimchi fried rice there is like unmatched, and I've never had better kimchi fried rice.
But when we were leaving, I was looking at other people's tables, and every table had that dish on it.
Yeah, and when we ordered it for the table, we had like 7 people there. We ordered it for the table. The waiter's like, no, you're gonna want 2 of those. I'm like, yeah, we are.
Yeah,
and we had leftovers. We chowed down on those leftovers drunkenly at the end of the day. But yeah, Best Friend, great restaurant, a little pricey. Get your reservations in advance because it fills up quick.
Yeah, it was busy.
Roy Choi, apparently a famous chef. I just believe.
There you go. I believe it.
Yeah, I would have no idea if they didn't say that. Yeah. Kimchi fried rice, got to do it. Got to fucking do it.
Oh yeah, their wings were good too.
Yeah, everything was great.
Yeah, everything. Nothing was bad, I don't think.
Nothing was bad, but the kimchi fried rice is like, okay, you could go there.
That's what
just get the kimchi fried rice, and you wouldn't be spending that much money, and you would have like the best fucking...
You're nourished.
Your taste buds would be...
Yep. Yeah.
Fucking... gooning. Then... And this is the last thing we did, the last night. We did Atomic Golf. So
yes, the competitor.
The new competitor to Topgolf, which I thought was worse. I thought it was worse than Topgolf.
The actual game part, but their drinks were better though.
The drinks were better. Holy shit. I should tell. At Topgolf, on the menu, it says on the menu, espresso martini, and the options are vodka or tequila. And I was like, who's ever fucking done a tequila espresso martini?
So wrong.
And so I was like, surely, like, did a bartender approve that? Like, is someone confused? But you and Jamie were getting espresso martinis. I was like, okay, well, I've got to figure this shit out. So I ordered the tequila one. And it was awful. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was miserable.
The vodka ones weren't great either, but like...
No, it was drinkable though, whereas I don't know if yours I'd consider drinkable.
That was the slowest I've ever drank a drink. But I finished it, and it was just... That was terrible.
Yeah, that's pain.
Terrible.
Yeah, no good.
So yeah, Atomic Golf, same concept. all of the images everywhere like are AI generated, and really obviously too. So you can like select your character avatar. I'm like, oh, look at all these weirdly different art styles and like all this glow behind the character and like
chef with orb.
yeah. There was like a chef with like a notepad or whatever character, and there's just a tiny blue orb like floating out of the notepad. I was like, what's that? But you could be like a dog or a cat. And they're all just like the most basic, very clearly AI generated character designs.
So obviously AI.
Yeah. And then you look closer at like they have these little ads for I guess their own business, just like on the TV screen, they would like fade from one to the other and just show like, you know, happy couple smiling and drinking a glass. I'm like, this is obviously AI too. Like their faces are so weird. Their hands were like melding into each other like a Cronenberg film. I'm like, this is a really interesting thing to do for a business that obviously has enough like capital and investment to have that plot of land, and you know, like that's kind of a funny, dumb, really weird, cheap thing to do.
That's the first instance I've seen it outside of like TV and movies, like in a business, in like a restaurant, bar, sports place. I think that's hilarious. But of course it was going to happen. Like if it can save money, businesses are going to do it, right? Of course they don't want to pay artists. They don't want to commission expensive, talented artists to put this stuff together. They just want to generate off a prompt. Much cheaper, easier, and a lot of people probably don't even notice or care.
Yeah. They had they had some weird gimmick thing where it's like, oh, at any time you can go down to the main floor and there's like a golf ball cannon. You like,
I didn't do it in the end.
And then you just press a button and then it shoots the golf ball out. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of power to this thing. Like there's a lot of force and it just goes out into the driving range, but there's nothing to aim at. And so like, unlike the actual driving range where you like book a bay and you know, it tracks the ball and you see on your screen and it's like, oh, kill the alien or just does the longest drive or whatever.
Yeah, aim for the little vehicle.
Yeah, none of that. You're just kind of like, oh, I shot a thing and if you aim it high, it goes far. If you aim it low, it goes near. But you're not aiming at anything, so you kind of just like, okay, that's cool, and then just you're done after like 5 minutes, just kind of pointless. They should incorporate something into it. Like, I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, I really don't feel like I missed out by not interacting with that cannon.
No. I took a little video and it was really a dumb gimmick that, you know, looked a little interesting on their fucking Instagram or TikTok or whatever San sent me, begging to go there. He's like, no, this is going to be better than Topgolf because they're competing.
Okay.
But I don't know. The drinks were better. The drinks were definitely better.
Yeah.
The staff were very friendly. They had like a lot of a good like beer selection. They had like a craft beer thing, which was fun. Yeah, and it was a little cheaper, but we'll see. You need some work if you want to compete with Topgolf, honestly.
Yeah, it's huge.
And then, did you do anything? So I flew out the next day, and then you guys flew out a little later in the day. Did you wind up doing anything on your last day, or?
Only, I don't know if I can even leave this in or not, the Daddy Derek related conversations and stuff I was having. I managed to get that done.
Very fun.
Just in time before going to the airport. So,
okay.
Yeah, I had forgotten that Daddy Derek lives in Nevada, of course. So he was somewhere within miles, probably.
This is the closest you've ever been.
Yeah.
Did you get goosebumps? Did your hair stand up?
I did. Like the second someone said his name and attached it to Nevada. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Like, you gotta watch out.
Shit just got real. Yeah.
I was saying we should have like a code word.
Yeah.
Got a possible Derek sighting at 10 o'clock.
Ooh. Yeah, good thing he doesn't know my face. I'll just leave it at that, I guess.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Glad you came. Glad you both came.
It was so much fun. It was awesome.
Your brother's super dope. Had some great conversations with him.
Yeah. It was so much fun. Still recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always underestimate jet lag.
Well, next time we do a trip,
I hear you, man.
show up the same day I do, because I give myself an extra day at the beginning, and your jet lag's gonna fucking need it. You're from the UK.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth it to have the whole trip is better
next time.
if you give yourself a little buffer period and some melatonin, which apparently is like an illegal drug in the UK.
Wait, you have to get it prescribed in the UK. You can't just buy it like everywhere, like in the US.
In Canada, you can just buy it over the counter too.
Really stupid.
It's a natural chemical in your brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you can't even like kill yourself with it. Like you can't even be like, oh, I'm sad. I want. You'll like get a headache. Yeah. Is my understanding. I'm gonna look that up.
We're progressive in a lot of ways with like food and drink and stuff, but then there are just some things where we have hang-ups on over here that just like, what? Yeah. Why are we doing this? Like, what is the problem?
I fact checked this just in case. I didn't want to say that on the podcast in case that was wrong. There has never been a case reported of anyone dying from too much melatonin or even becoming seriously ill. So, like, why is that prescription?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
You need a license for sleep.
It is, yeah. It is pretty much at that level now, man. Please, God help.
As soon as I got back, I'm in Atlanta right now, I found out that the toothpaste that I usually get, you have to have a prescription for in the States. So you can buy it off you can literally buy it off Amazon in Canada. It's a high fluoride toothpaste. And apparently high fluoride toothpaste, you need a prescrition in the States.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Okay, but we don't do that.
Yeah, what the hell?
You can get high fluoride stuff. Fine.
Yeah.
That's what?
I'm pissed. That doesn't make any sense.
I thought it was Americans' whole thing that they add like crazy stuff to food and drink and have it unregulated.
I thought the whole thing was freedom. Where's my freedom to have my teeth high fluorided? Give me some healthy teeth.
Is that one of those things that they're kind of weird about, like fluoride? Is that attached to any?
I mean, there's some conspiracy theories. I'm pretty sure it's in the water supply for a bunch of places in the States, though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like, it is in a lot of places. And, like, statistically, it decreases tooth decay for, like, the population and doesn't have any, like, negative side effects as far as I'm aware.
I don't know, man. There's some crazy rules over there. What was it? Iodized salt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the stuff I'm hearing, like, what do you mean? That's crazy. What?
High fructose corn syrup. Every soda is just corn.
Everything is corn. Yeah. Just got an excess of corn.
It's funny because you ask an American, they think that that's normal everywhere. They're like, no, because they know that there's like cane sugar Coke that exists. But they call it Mexican Coke because that's the closest country that they import it from. So they'll be like on the stores, like, oh, Mexican Coca-Cola. It's so crazy that they do this. But in reality, it's crazy that you use high fructose corn syrup in your country and not like sugar or even like glucose fructose.
I was meaning to try it, but I couldn't bring myself to buy a full sugar soda.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It's, whatever. Nothing special. All right, it's time to discuss the epic, what do we call this?
Duology?
Double feature.
Double feature works.
It's a pretty epic one.
They're pretty incestuous too, so they're pretty interlinked.
Yeah, I'm glad we did both.
Yeah, it's essential.
This was, it was a vengeance-based recommendation for Alex.
Yeah, we're in the spy era.
Making me watch a Baz Luhrmann film. But, I think that my movie was they were nice movies. I think they were less torturous than Moulin Rouge. So
kind of. Yeah.
I'm nice.
Well, the one was nicer than the other, in my opinion.
Yeah. Which one did you watch first?
I watched... And did we settle on the Duffy thing? Or is it just...
That has to be a
talking
UK...
cat? And maybe it's a Zootropolis situation.
Yeah.
But yeah. I watched A Talking Cat first, followed shortly
You gotta yell.
A Talking Pony? That's what I watched next.
A Talking Pony?
I feel like I need an espresso martini to be able to whip out that kind of energy.
Oh yeah, it's kind of late for you. Oops. A talking cat? I watched the pony one first and then the cat one second.
Interesting, because I had a little theory about this.
Oh,
I was a bit worried about this, actually.
A game theory?
My game theory being whichever one you like first, you're probably going to prefer.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit of crossover going on here.
Well, my boyfriend wound up liking the cat one better, even though that was second. But, I mean...
interesting.
A little biased.
Okay. Yeah, there's some bias there, though.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know. I myself, I'm on team Talking Cat.
Uh-huh.
I gotta say. But this incestuous kind of reuse of a bunch of the same actors and voices and whatnot. There ain't much in it, to be honest. But I think a big advantage Duffy has over Pony. You can just it's a bit easier to shoot a cat, I feel like. So they could get a little bit closer to it. So get some more varied shots of the cat doing things. They even use like special effects on the cat talking sometimes.
That was a choice.
I don't think you get that with the pony. They're clearly a little bit more limited with the way you just can shoot a horse, I guess, compared to a cat.
I don't think it's inherent to the concept of a horse. I think it's the fact that they had
with how this guy makes movies.
There's a difference between shooting a horse and shooting an acting horse. That was not an acting horse. They didn't get like a horse that is in movies. They just got it was just someone's horse.
And the same for the cat. Yeah, it was just someone's cat.
It was just someone. Yeah, it was just there's no professionalism to be found. And the horse was like, it seemed like just kind of tired the whole time. like kind of old, probably didn't really do much. And there was one spot that it was in the whole movie, like just in the corral, and only on one side of the corral for like 80% of the film, or when it showed up in the film.
Yeah, and you got to remind the audience this is one of 9 films this director released in 2013 alone.
David DeCoteau.
One of the busiest directors, clearly. If you go on that IMDb, there's a hell of a lot of entries right here. Yeah, they are busy.
Mm-hmm. A real Bioden Steven. I pulled both of those names from memory. This is crazy.
Damn.
They're just in there.
Yeah, I'm much better with faces than names. You're not going to catch me remembering David DeCoteau. What was he?
Yeah.
It's just like French. It's a French film.
I don't know.
Talking Cat, French New Wave.
Well, why don't we start with a talking cat?
The famous one, the more well-known,
yeah,
I would say.
Apparently a bunch of people reviewed this a while ago, like JonTron and peeps, so like people know about it.
Yeah, and I think just having Eric Roberts in there did boost its profile a little bit. And I think that's one of the main things that edges it out to me over a talking pony. Because that VO is like so funny to me.
He's very old sounding.
He sounds old. He sounds like he's 2 rooms away.
Yes.
Like recording like in a bathroom, which I think actually is literally what he did. Like I found a piece of trivia about the Eric Roberts inclusion. Cause I was trying to find like how much he was paid for this. Because man, I bet it was more than deserved. But yeah, in a 2017 episode of the podcast, Eric Roberts is the fucking man. Eric Roberts, who voiced the talking cat Duffy, said that he recorded his dialogue in the bathroom of, quote, some guy's house, as the bathroom had the best acoustics.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And apparently it took 15 minutes to do his VO.
Unsurprising, actually. That was definitely a one take, best take situation. First take. Yeah, and the fact that they can't even commit to the way the talking cat is communicated. Like for the first section of the movie, there's no mouth movement or whatever. It's just like pure Eric Roberts kind of awkwardly stitched in, and then they just decide at a certain point, oh no, let's animate the mouth kind of. I understand why. It's because the problem they were trying to solve was to have some sort of differentiating feature so that the audience knew which dialogue was internal and external. So every time he doesn't open his mouth, it's his thoughts, and he's just talking as the narrator, essentially.
Oh, right.
And then when he does open his mouth, he's actually talking to the humans. Better solution would have been just like, I don't know, add like an echo effect in his thoughts. And then the audience could infer the rest. Because that animation effect, I can't even call it animation. Like, what is that? They're just like a black void. This weird...
It looks like something you'd see in a Nostalgia Critic cutaway from like 2010.
Yeah, like early Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah.
Like before he hit his stride, before he got like better special effects.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can really trust it or believe it, but the budget says $1 million on IMDb.
Sure.
Which I guess you could launder $1 million through this with the 2 locations, like one being a mansion, like whatever, and maybe Eric Roberts got a big one.
Well, probably a lot of it went to the actors, you know.
Yeah, who, I don't know, I've seen a lot of like bad straight to video movies, and there's like tiers of actor. I don't know, the older guy in this movie who's like a computer algorithm genius who's got a Zoomer haircut.
He's a coder.
Yeah.
The best coder. He spent like 30 years of his life trying to code one thing. The technology became outdated for whatever he was working on by the time he was finished with it.
Yeah. But the way he was kind of carrying himself, he had a little bit of a screen presence. You know,
yeah.
He has something going on, more than I was expecting, at least for this tier of movie.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's just everything else like around this talking cat. Like you kind of mentioned the rules, the different ways this cat communicates, and they do try and establish this magical rule attached to this cat where it can talk to each character one time, right? Have I got that right?
For some reason.
For some reason. It's limited to...
whatever one time means.
Because that makes the sitcom setup and punchlines so much stronger if you have that rule in. It just makes everything hit so much harder.
Yeah.
With all these various characters who will get one little conversation. You got the IT dad and his twink son.
Yes.
Who is they're supposed to be related, but they look like different races.
I'm glad you said
it. Yeah. I don't know, both these films have this thing about like a brother or a sibling rivalry of some kind.
2 different writers though.
That's like a big part of it. Yeah, that's another interesting point. Different writers, and I think we know which one is more talented as far as like dialogue and jokes are concerned, and it ain't the one in Talking Cat.
I beg to differ.
Really? What? You think the intentional jokes are better in Talking Cat than Pony?
Oh, sorry. I misinterpreted and thought you said the opposite of what you meant.
No, yeah. That's kind of why this one is funnier to me, is that there's like, in the intention, there's really nothing that works. Like nothing. Whereas I was kind of surprised by how some of the lines in A Talking Pony, they were like, I don't know, that's kind of a comedic line that's intentionally funny, and it was kind of humorous. there's
a lot of anti-humor.
Yeah, but there's not a single one of those in the Talking Cat to me.
No, I
don't think so.
The plot of A Talking Cat is held together by like a huge cheese puff drama.
That's right. They're talking about cheese puffs every 5 minutes.
Woman, she's addicted to cheese. Her life is in shambles because her cheese puff budget is just eating up her savings. And even though, like, when they take it out of the oven, and the guy, let's try to retrace our steps here. We get the intro.
Please.
The talking cat says to the audience, "I'm gonna help humans. I like to be a cat, but I'm here to help them along to discover their own journeys." And then we get the sister and brother character. There's two families. First, we see Tech Dad and Twink Son.
Yeah, that's one combo.
And Twink Son loves running up and down the stairs, and they love showing him running up and down the stairs. It happens 4 times in the first 15 minutes, I think. Yeah, 4 times in the first 13 minutes was in my notes.
Oh, man.
I thought it was going to happen for the rest of the movie. I thought it would have been like a great drinking game. Like,
yeah.
How many times is he going to run up and down the stairs? It's just like an entire long unbroken shot. Like, okay, bye, son. He like runs up the stairs.
That would be a good drinking game with this film, actually. It's like unnecessary camera movements that are there. Like if you take a shot every time there's one of those, you're going to be like destroyed because they do that a lot.
The style was weird.
Really weird style. It was like they kind of knew that there were only 2 locations. It's like, okay, we can mix it up, but just the camera's moving all the time. That will liven it up, and it's like this doesn't like match like what you're saying or what you're trying to show.
Not at all.
Very funny, but
very funny. Yeah, there was one scene where like all the shitty free play, goofy ass soundtrack. There was one shot where I was like, you could just change this to like a more sinister sounding tone and it would be like a horror movie shot. Like he's like running around where's Jason or what, I don't remember what his fucking name is. Where's my twink?
It's like, yeah, you could do that, or there's also that kind of porno acting sort of vibe as well, where every scene kind of, I don't know, it feels more like a porno that is being built up than
the pool scene was very homoerotic.
Very, yeah. Yeah, I know
that was surprising
too. That was hilarious.
They both stripped. They're like, I'm going to teach you how to swim.
And clearly also not intentional. A lot of unintentional humor here.
But it's so homoerotic, I'm like, okay, you can tell who the top is.
Yeah.
Right.
Another thing with these films, right, the establishing shots. What is the deal?
Dude loves water.
Oh, he loves water.
More than James Cameron.
They kind of stood out to me more in Pony, but
yes.
In Cat's a little bit shorter. It's got a bit more of a quick pace, Whereas Pony's got more. I mean,
they're both the same length. I think they're both like 90 minutes approximately.
Yeah, there's not much in it. And there's just not much in it. Full stop. To be honest, like. Like as films, there's very little going on. Like this one doesn't have the like save the rec center type thing. This one is more like these 2 families. One has the dad who's lost the mum, and one is the mum who's lost the dad. And it's like, let's get them together.
Yeah.
And then whatever the kids are up to too, the little drama they have. It's like super low stakes, like lowest of the low.
Not much conflict, no.
Yeah, not enough. For a talking cat movie, like he's got attitude. He's going around like making jokes like Garfield, but he's not doing anything.
He doesn't really influence any of their lives in any way until maybe the last scene.
Yeah,
like he's like walking around like, oh, I gotta help the humans, and then he has a conversation with them. He's like, blah blah blah, and they're like, what?
Yeah, he really doesn't have much agency, does he? Because then he winds up getting hit by a car.
Yeah, spoilers.
Doesn't die, he's fine, but he does get hit by a car.
No, yeah. He gets a little bit of lightly wrapped gauze around his head. And the car was like the villain. We never knew who was driving it. And we saw shots of it like earlier in the movie. It was like this sinister, like, car man or woman.
Yeah, and there was this really funny line where, I think it was around the time of the car crash, where a character says like, maybe it makes sense for his collar to save him.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like looking at the camera, and it's like, what do you mean? Like this is your movie. You establish the rules, right? What do you mean? You're like asking the audience.
They were saying, because Duffy was wearing a collar, and then they started talking some nonsense about a magic collar, but then they went to the woods and like made a collar out of twigs or something, and then that was magic.
There was some kind of magic healing property.
Yeah, I don't know how they got to that conclusion or where they decided they needed to get this twig collar for. Like that was also rushed.
Oh yeah, yeah. And did you notice the mother character like leaving in the ums and ahs with her lines, kind of like Ken Loach style, bringing that drama to the max. Yeah, some great characters, some great performance all round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In this film, the soundtrack was like a lot of it sounded like karaoke versions of existing songs. Like there was definitely La Cucaracha.
Yeah,
more than
once. I caught that one. Yeah,
there was one that sounded like a what's his name? Motherfucker. God damn it. Frank Sinatra. At the beginning, there was like a Frank Sinatra song.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Like a distorted, free to use, like copyright free version.
Yeah. Well, they credited at the end, Big Score Music, which is a website that you can get. It's a bunch of cheaply licensed songs.
Yeah, loads of weird choices like that, like the opening font being like the Indiana Jones font for some reason.
Yeah, that was fun.
And like the background behind the Indiana Jones font is like a tilted montage of like cat clips.
That seemed like a preset in the editing software.
Yeah, it did.
That seemed like just whatever random editing software they had just had some weird preset.
Mm-hmm. And every character's just acting so off. Like this cat's just kind of walking around, like talking to the audience, and they're like, these characters just keep talking to each other. It's like the first half an hour is basically just characters being like, "Did you just see a cat? I saw a cat. Me too." So I don't know. Is that maybe?
Yeah, and then they talk to it, and then they're like they act the same the rest of the movie as if they didn't. They're not like that caught off guard by it.
No, it's like really not that big of a deal. Like,
no, it doesn't influence anything.
It's, for the title to be a talking cat.
Yeah,
sorry, a talking cat.
Thank
for
you.
It to be that, like, I don't know, it really doesn't live up to the title, huh?
No, not really.
And then, like, randomly, like, going back to the sibling drama, the girl in this drama, she's got like this brutal line where she's like going in on her brother, like, at least I've got direction and purpose, and I'm a coder, and I've built this algorithm that's going to make me rich. And it's like, what the fuck does this have to do with the cat? Like,
nothing.
How does the cat influence this algorithm?
No, absolutely nothing. She has a laptop that they taped over the Macintosh logo, I guess. And it's just like this huge streak of like 3 pieces of tape going from the very top of the back of the laptop to like underneath where it folds. And so they tried to make it seem as though it was like a designed style of the laptop. When, I don't know, normal people, you could see like someone puts a sticker on their laptop. You could just put a sticker there if you didn't want the Apple logo. And then the coder dad is seen with the exact same laptop. And I was like, okay, well, you're just reusing the same prop. But then at the end of the movie, this is like the biggest plot twist in the world. Both laptops were in frame. I'm like, wow, you had 2
the whole time
of the exact same taped Macintosh laptop. Speaking of laptops, the scene where they were scanning clothes with like a
light,
a book light, pretending to be a scanner, and just all these computer noises and like.
That was one of, I guess, the through lines they attempted with the talking cat. Was he has some line where he's like, "I do not like these silly machines, but they can be useful at times."
Beeping machines.
Yeah, that's like what all his dialogue is. He like says one thing and then undoes it.
He was talking about cell phones, though, right?
Yeah. But man, there were some funny ass moments with Roberts' voice acting when they got that nasty looking bowl out with like milk in it, and they'd put meat in the milk. And this cat is like
flaked tuna.
Yeah, they flaked tuna in milk.
I don't think it was milk. I think it was in water.
Oh, really? Is it?
I think he just had a plate of flaked tuna with like some water. And when he brought it out, he introduced it as like, "I'll get you some sandwich meat." No, if you ever say sandwich meat, no one's thinking of like chunk tuna. That's not. You can make a tuna salad sandwich or whatever, a tuna sandwich. When you say sandwich meat, you're like, I think deli meat, like a slice of ham or something.
Why'd they drop it in liquid?
I don't know.
It looked gross.
Dude loves water. Have you seen the shots? Have you seen the establishing shots? Of fucking going around the pool. He's like, he'll look at that pool, he'll be like, "Oh my God, it's rippling."
There's so many establishing shots and none of them have a subject.
No.
It's just like a tree or like leaves, a river.
He finds a waterfall, he's like, he's gooning.
Yeah, he's gooning to the waterfalls. But I did like the Eric Rogers VO when he was eating that watery tuna. He's like sat there going, "Oh, yeah, it's nom." That's what I'm there for.
Yeah. A lot of reused shots. Lots of shots of water were reused. There was one establishing shot, the sunset, which was just a still image, like a PNG file, but they added a Ken Burns zoom. They did that twice. The exact same one. That was fun. I like that one.
Did you like the scene with the phone call where you only hear one side of the phone call and it's mostly just the girl going, I know.
I know.
I know. I know.
I know. I know. I know. She says it a lot. That was crazy.
That felt like the longest scene. Went on forever.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of like really awkwardly long scenes, like that scanning with the light thing. It's like that went on for so long, and there's some you can see them just keep a take of him, like he'll drop the shirt on the wrong, like it'll just like fly off the couch. He's like, wait, he has to like pick it up. I'm like, you already have a lot of shots. You didn't have to keep that one. You didn't have
too much coverage.
Yeah. We wouldn't have been confused about how he got up the stairs. You don't have to show him going all the way up the stairs every time and then down.
I think they were just proud that they did it and they want to show it, you know?
It's a oneer.
It's flexing the oneer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But please tell me what, like going back to like the description of the film, a sassy feline helps a family resolve its problems. What? How?
I don't know.
What did it help with? I can't remember any moment actually like impacted any of this. It's just kind of there.
It's like that. What's that Simpsons clip? Like, I must go, but you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's basically this.
Yeah, it's like the cat is like tertiary, even though it is the title of the film. That kind of it makes it even funnier.
It's the selling point.
Yeah, it's the whole point of the film.
I mean, nobody would be watching it otherwise. So, I mean, props. They scammed us all.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. This was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for it. I like what it was bringing. I like the energy from these actors. The weird like moments of homoerotic tension.
Yeah.
I'm living for this. 2013, even though it feels like it was made in like 2005 and put on YouTube for free.
There was some very notable day for night shots where they just like gave everything a blue tint and pretended it was nighttime. I was like, oh.
Yeah. What's it like? What do you think, like realistically, if you had to estimate how many days they shot this for? A week, maybe?
7?
Week or 2? Yeah, I'm thinking a week.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
And even then, that's generous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really ain't much going on here.
Very efficient filmmakers.
Extremely. I feel like, yeah, what's their secret?
You know, if anybody listening, I know we got a lot of aspiring filmmakers in the audience. Just watch this. Anybody can make a movie. What's stopping you?
Yeah, anyone can make a talking pet.
David Duchovny is making movies.
Making all the movies, clearly.
Every movie.
The majority of movies are made by this guy.
He's made most movies. Yeah, lots. When the movie ended, they had this weird montage of just like, okay, we're doing like shots of the actors, right? We're gonna include 5 different shots of each actor with the title,
almost like a sitcom or something.
Yeah,
very weird.
But the first shot they included was just clearly like an outtake or just like in between shots of the tech dad sitting down on the car couch. He's like, vroom, vroom, beep, beep, beep. That was the only one of those with audio in it. I'm like, wow, you found that really special and poignant. And it was. And
I'd give them that.
Included it. And it was a very magical little inclusion at the end of the film. It really tied everything together.
How magical is it that these are just free on YouTube as well?
Oh, hell yeah. That's why
beautiful.
When I was looking these up, I'm like, I got to do this now. Because sometimes the licensing expires and then it removes. And I'm like, well, these are free on YouTube now. We got to take this opportunity.
And this is kind of just missed it, but the 10-year celebration. Like a decade, these films.
Yeah, pretty much.
Been out there in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cheese pup. So Tech Dad winds up meeting the mom from the other family because he decides to go for a walk and gets lost, like I guess their houses are pretty far apart, but like he gets lost essentially in his own neighborhood and dehydrates because he forgot to bring water and he's like dying. And so he just knocks on a random door. He's like, I didn't bring water. And then they meet and then they like each other because they like the same movies.
Oh yeah, and they try and do a little bit. They do this in both movies as well, having like a rich character and a poor character from different parts of town or something, and it's like, oh, these two worlds coming together and seeing what the other one's all about, type thing. Yeah.
So the cheese part of the cheese puff drama. There's many cheese puffs. She's always making cheese puffs. They're the most important thing in the world to her. And somehow on the second visit, he comes over and he like knocks it over. He like, I don't remember how he did that.
The cheese puffs are more consequential than the talking cat.
True. It was a huge cheese puff drama. She like pulls it out of the oven with no gloves.
Yeah.
And then he tries to grab it and then he's like, oh, it's hot. And then drops it. And even though the entire thing was covered and it doesn't look like it flips over or anything.
No.
Like it falls on the floor. And it never shows it after. We're just supposed to like imagine that they're ruined somehow. I don't know why they would be. Like you drop it, it's on the floor, it's covered, they'd be fine. I don't know what they were implying happened to the cheese puffs.
Yeah, it's like they show you the wrong things. Like the focus is just on some random shit that doesn't relate to anything.
Yeah, like in the script, drops the cheese puffs and then they try to film it. They're like, that doesn't work, so let's just not show it.
Yeah, that's too hard. That's going to take too much effort. Let's just move on.
We don't have the budget to like have the cheese puffs on the floor. These cheese puffs are covered because there's none in there. We maxed out the cheese puff budget in the earlier scenes.
Let's just kind of get an enjoyment from having this like retired pensioner coder guy like as like a main character in this talking cat movie. It's like
he was a funny guy.
Such like a specific demographic. Yeah. Like, yeah, I guess maybe they really connected with this guy and his trendy haircut.
Yeah. What's your rating?
You know what, this one? I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10.
Awesome.
This is exactly what I want from a talking... I want every talking cat movie to have nothing to do with the talking cat, basically. I think that's genius. It's subversive to have it be a family drama, actually, at the end of it.
Cheese puff drama.
A cheese puff drama. I've never seen that before. It's showing me heights and lows that I never even thought possible.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you, Duffy.
I'm giving this one a 1 out of 10.
Okay.
It was funny. Not quite there for me.
Not quite there.
No.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, luckily you got a few options for this filmmaker from this year alone, let alone talking animal movies. Yeah. Like that. You could do like months of episodes just on this guy.
We could recommend 2 films a week. Every 2 films every episode from this guy. We would never get through his filmography. We would die before.
Yeah.
We would literally never get through it.
I think it's like 180 credits. 180 directing credits. Busy, David. You're being busy over there.
Busy boy. Busy body, busy boy. All right. Now it's time to talk about a talking pony.
What differentiates this one?
What differentiates this one? I think it's more unique.
You think it's more unique, but this is where you're biased though. Like a talking pony that says a bunch of puns. It's like it's made for you.
Well, here's what makes it unique. Is that the establishing shots make up probably 60% of the film.
Yeah, they go real experimental with it this time.
Oh,
like really trying to find a voice with this one.
Dude loves water. He loves leaves. He's like a real Terrence Malick. They should have gotten him to do the show at the Sphere. Really. Yeah, so this is a different direction, different writer.
Yeah.
What I like about this film is it subverts your expectations. It's called a talking pony, but it's not even a pony, it's a horse. And
yeah, I didn't even. It's not even a pony.
It's not even a pony. And there is no talking pony for at least the first 30 minutes.
Just in a dream, right? That's like the only.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was. Yeah, she was like, it wasn't even a real dream. She was like looking at the pony at the beginning, and then someone else said something, and it was just somebody behind her. She just has like terrible sense of audial direction. So like the pony didn't even start talking until she got booped on the head by a magic horseshoe that was just at the barn.
Yeah, and this one was different rules. It wasn't a one-time per person rule set anymore. Now it's just as long as you're attacked with the horseshoe, the magic horseshoe,
you had to get knocked out. You couldn't just get attacked or booped with it. You had to have like actual brain damage in order to make this work. And I was saying, like, as a joke, as soon as the rules were happening, I'm like, she should just go around like bonking other people. Like, no, you gotta know what the ponies sounds like. And then that actually happens. She knocks out somebody else. She tries a couple times. You're like, oh, that hurt. Then she does it harder, and
kind of exactly like a talking cat. I'm struggling to really relate the talking pony bit to the overall plot of like a rich businessman trying to build a mall in like a quaint little farm in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please remind me if I'm forgetting how the talking pony like plays into that. Not just a talking pony, a joking pony.
Yeah,
a punny pony. Loves those puns.
A talking punny.
Yeah, I really can't. No link, none. I really can't think of anything.
Yeah.
How they relate.
No, well, because what is introduced as like the villains just turn out not to even really be the villains, and there were no villains.
Yeah, and this is where a talking blank blur is getting stuck in my head because, yeah, going back to the incestuous nature, you notice that the mother character is played by the mother from a talking cat as well.
It's probably the same universe. So she talks about having a previous family in this one. So maybe
true. Maybe it's like the same universe. Yeah.
The talking cat family didn't work out very well. It didn't last very long.
But then how does that explain? The horse is voiced by the coda dad.
Oh, is it?
The haircut. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, as soon as you started talking, I put that together. So then that's also confusing. So what does that mean as far as the universe building is concerned? He's become a horse? Maybe that's part of there is magic.
Maybe he died and the spirit reincarnated as the horse.
Yeah.
And so basically you got a family on a ranch, farm, whatever, large plot of land with home and a corral with a horse in it that only ever stays there. And only ever stays in one specific corner of the corral and just kind of like doesn't really emote much, doesn't move much, just stands
doesn't
there.
Really do anything, yeah.
No, just kind of just stands there forever. And the daughter character, she loves the horse a little too much.
Yeah.
And she has two brothers, they're stepbrothers. So she's adopted. Her dad died or something.
Yeah, why was that necessary to mention? Why did she have to be a stepsister? I guess.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Another sibling rivalry thing.
They used it as justification to do never-ending sleep pranks on her. So
yeah.
It starts out, oh yeah, no, she did have a dream. What was the dream? Was the dream of the talking horse?
The dream was like the opening of the movie, right?
Was the horse talking in the dream?
I'm pretty sure it says something.
I don't remember.
Does it really matter?
So she's in a dream. Then she wakes up and the brothers are like, they tickle her face and then it's like, oh, there was shaving cream in your hand. She like gets it all over her face. She's like,
But multiple times they tie her to the bed.
Yeah, that one was funny. So at the beginning of the film, in the first sleep prank, you'll notice that she ever so slightly, like the if she's laying down, it's like her bottom left foot where the post is, the bed post is. She like nudges it ever so slightly, and it looks like it's going to fall off, like the railing from To Freedom, basically. I'm like, okay, that's not structurally intact at all. That's literally just sitting there. And if you touch it, it's going to fall off. And they don't draw any attention to it. You're not supposed to notice it. But then later in one of the sleeping pranks, when they tie, it's like, okay, in the script, they tie her foot to the bedpost. She gets out of bed, and then the bedpost that her foot is tied to is the one that would have been like at her head. But the rope isn't that long, so it doesn't make sense that because she would have had to have been sleeping upside down, which she wasn't. So she, like, within a cut, they tie it to her foot, and then she's like, "Oh, I fell into bed," which could seriously injure or kill someone. That's like that's not even a prank at that point. But then I realized, oh, they probably tied it to that bedpost because the one near her feet would just fall off. As shown earlier, it is not structurally intact. So that was a fun little discovery of just why that choice was made.
Well, what about the ongoing theme of speaking of like gambling and poker, like this weird like maths thing.
Hell yeah.
Like that was this ongoing thing with those brothers, right? Where they're like trying to trick each other out of money. And like, that's just an ongoing thing with the film.
The two brothers are like little couple chads or whatever, and they want to be professional posers, as they say, and that's one of the jokes. Is like they like posing. They think they're going to be models. They're like, check this one out. It's like Zoolander or whatever. Yeah, just not as well realized.
That was like an actual good joke. That was like, oh my, you've actually like written like a double entendre. That's kind of funny. And then the horse has to come in like 2 seconds after and like over explain the joke and kind of ruin it.
Even better. Yeah. So these two brother characters, their entire purpose in life, there's like not much going on in the lives of any of these characters. So the daughter just like brushes the horse all day and gets pranked in her sleep. Oh my God, that shot of the clown makeup where she like looks at the camera and goes like, yeah. That was an amazing shot.
That was a good shot.
That prank was incredible. So she does nothing all day. The two brothers just kind of like waltz around the ranch or whatever. And I guess they constantly carry like just so much cash on them.
Yeah, they got wads.
Yeah.
And they look 17 as well, yeah.
They instigate bets with people and mostly the sister. And they say things like, if you can guess, I'm thinking of a number in my head between 1 to 10. If you can guess it in 3 tries, then I'll give you $10, but you give me $10 or whatever. Like, so they do a bet, and then she, figures it out, and he's like, shucks, you got me there. And he just keeps giving her money over the course of the film, and they have all these stupid fucking games and these stupid fucking rules. And they do this with other characters too. So, okay, there's the mother wants to sell the ranch because otherwise the bank's going to take it.
Yeah, that's the Save the Rec Center plot. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're poor. And then in comes Mr. Beetle, a rich man who's going to buy the land, and he's driving there with his son. They almost hit a deer, but the deer's invisible, I guess, because they'd show out the front of the vehicle. They didn't have to do that. They could have just cut away. They show out the front of the vehicle, it's not there, and they pretend like they almost hit a deer. I don't know. An invisible deer they almost hit. His son is like just really awkward looking in a really nice suit. And they show up, and the son and the woman's daughter, I guess, are like kind of having this Romeo and Juliet situation, which they even say is that. Like, they reference Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, and they use a bunch of names from Romeo and Juliet, don't they? Like some of the characters.
Horatio.
Straight up. Yeah.
Is that horse's name. And so the entire film takes place on this ranch, and it's essentially just the longest property showing ever. And that's mostly what happens. And then in the meantime, girl's getting knocked out and tries to knock out the dude, and then the talking horse, she's trying to convince people, and the whole thing where she's like, no, look, everybody, a talking horse. And then it cuts to the horse, and the horse is talking, but then she's like, cuts back to the family. They're like, what? Is something supposed to be happening right now? Which makes it extra funny because in universe, they all paused for like a huge amount of time. In the amount of time that the horse was talking, they all paused and were just kind of like standing there while the horse didn't say anything.
Like the horse never says anything funny, which does kind of add to the humor. It's like
it's great.
Waiting for the horse to say some just annoying shit that like just doesn't add anything. Yeah.
According to her, he's doing stand up. She said, "The horse is doing stand up." They're like, okay, and then the mother goes away with like the Mr. Beetle who wants to like buy the land or whatever. She has a conversation with him where she flat out says like that her daughter's gone crazy and it's probably because they're selling the farm. And then he's like, wait, I guess you don't want to sell it. She's like, no, I do. But the entire time she's just kind of left her daughter alone. Like she's not going over there being like, is everything okay? Like you're crazy. Like, the daughter literally got knocked unconscious, by the way. Here's a fucking helpful life-saving tip. If you ever get a head injury that makes you go unconscious, go to the fucking hospital. You cannot not go to the hospital because even if you feel fine and conscious and lucid, you could be having internal brain bleeding or injuries that will kill you if you don't go to the hospital. That's literally how Liam Neeson's wife died. She had like a small like bump on her head, like skiing, like on the fucking bunny hill or whatever. She thought she was fine and then she died. So everybody take that advice seriously. These characters, they just they just knock each other out willy-nilly. It's fine.
It's part of the world building, like it's essential to everything working, is them all getting head injuries. So.
I will say that there was a moment where the horse spoke to the audience and said, "Don't try this at home, kids." And I kind of realized
they had to do it.
You shouldn't have no, I mean that does nothing though. Like this film is probably a lot more unethical if you're trying to show it to kids. Like thankfully no kids have seen this probably. But you don't want to create any kind of narrative where a kid can watch something and go like, "Oh, I just got to knock myself out with a horseshoe and then I'll be able to talk to horses."
Yeah, that's really stupid.
It doesn't matter if you just say, "Don't do this at home, kids." Like that does nothing. Don't show it. That's a bad thing to be showing kids. So in that sense, a talking cat is a bit more ethical in terms of media for children.
Especially when a lot of people like do have horseshoes like hanging up in their house. There's often like a superstitious like item that people have. So
yeah, and I mean, if a kid's gonna watch this, they're probably gonna be like a little horse girl or whatever. Like just I love horses and like on a farm or something. They could have access to that anyway. So that was probably a bad idea. They keep trying to negotiate the terms of selling the house. Meanwhile, the son that Mr. Beetle brought is just like trying to get laid. And horse girl's like, "He's talking, it's real." And he's like, "I believe you." I'm like, "No, you don't." You just want to get laid. He like clearly doesn't.
Could do anything, yeah.
He's just a little horny fucker. And so at some point, Mr. Beetle hurts his back out of nowhere.
That was funny. That the way that was written.
Oh, the sound design was great.
Yeah, the combination of the line as well. Whereas,
what do you say?
There's nothing, I repeat, nothing wrong with me. Oh, my back. And it's all like timed in that kind of really awkward way. And then, the sound effect it plays when he cricks his back. It sounds like he like shit himself, and there's like a duck quacking.
There's
like in this like
poop noise and slide whistle. And like muted trumpet. Like
there's a bunch of like weird cartoony sound effects just like shoved in randomly.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's literally the wah 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 wah.
Yeah, like Price is Right sound effects.
Yeah.
Whenever the two brothers who are completely instigating all of these bets but lose every time. Whenever they lose and they get tricked, they're like, "Oh shucks, you got me." What I love about them Okay, I'll get back to this in a second. We'll continue talking about the broken bag. So he brought in his briefcase that you would assume is filled with like all the documents that you need to sign, maybe some cash. I don't know. The briefcase is mostly his back pills. He opens it up, just like most of the volume of the case is his back pills. And then she's like, this was so weird. She has this conversation with him where it seems like the goal of the conversation, like from the perspective of the film, is to be like anti-medicine, like anti-medical professionals. She's like, what? He's like, no, the pills help me from my doctor. She's like, those don't do anything. But she's a massage therapist, which is like not a real doctorate. I don't think. Like not a real doctor. She's a massage therapist. And she's like, no, I'm going to make you a special tea. Never tells him what's in it.
That's right. She hides
Probably aged urine or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, see, it makes you breathe better. He's like, oh, man, all I needed to do was breathe, and now my back feels great. She's like, yeah.
My nasal passage is starting to open up. Nice.
Yes, exactly. That's what, okay, I was wondering exactly where that was. I was trying to trace where in the film that was.
Yeah. I can actually breathe.
She literally has a line where she's like, what? If your doctors told you that living was unhealthy, would you just not live? Like, that was literally, like, that's what she said. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, some just anti-medical.
They try to, like, characterize him by, he's a bit of, like, a hypochondriac. And they're trying to play up the, like, city guy versus the small town lass type thing. But yeah, it manifests with some weird stuff. He had a funny line that I noted down. Just, what did you just do, woman? And she like gives him some meds. Just like the angles that these writers and the director like brings out of this is just like, bravo, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I gotta clap because it's like, where are you even like getting this? Like what part of like when you're mapping out the story of this film when you put. Yeah, a talking pony, that's the thesis. Where do we go from there? I know. Yeah, businessman who's like a hypochondriac. It's like, what the... Okay, yeah. I'm here for it, but...
A massage therapist. Yeah. And these, the two Chad brothers are so funny. I wrote down
we gotta go back
tricks.
to them.
Yeah, okay, we're going back to them. I love this film. It's so good.
Yeah, they're iconic, those brothers.
One of them, his acting, I'm sure you have to have seen this. You know that fucking gay porn meme where somebody posted on YouTube without the porn? And the guy's oh shit, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? My dad has taught us not to be afraid of our dicks. The disposition, the way that the blonde Chad brother acts is identical to that character, the bald guy in that gay porn thing.
That's what I mean by the porno-y feel.
Oh, hell yeah.
So much of this.
Literally acts the exact same. Also, fun fact, if you look at the poster on IMDb, Talking Pony.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Everybody is in the poster except that guy. Literally, every character that ever appeared in the film, including the horse, is on the poster except that one guy. Like, they couldn't figure out how to fit him or something, or like they didn't have a good photo. They forgot to get a photo of him. Like, what the fuck?
That's funny.
Like, literally, he's just not in the poster.
That. Yeah.
Could you imagine being that guy? It's not just like, oh, I didn't get on the poster. It's everybody else in the entire film.
I'm the only one
got on the poster except me. Even the horseshoe's on the poster.
Man. And he's like the standout.
He's great.
I can actually think of a scene where the horse actually does something to do with like what's happening. And it is the card scene. Where they're like, hey, I'm gonna play a game you can't possibly cheat at.
Yes.
Cards. And then the horse like watches in the background, just revealing what the cards are, I guess. So the horse does do something. More than the cat, I guess.
Yeah. Well, eventually, yeah. So, yeah, they have the cards, and they lose at that, obviously, because the horse is just telling her what cards are there, because the horse can see the cards. And the horse is familiar with cards. He's like, he knows, like, spades.
That's right, yeah.
Like, he said spades. I'm like, he understands what the symbol is and how to communicate
Could have done with him in the casino.
Yeah.
A little card counting pony in the background.
I was there.
Yeah.
The So I wrote down one of these because it was so fucking dumb. So the Mr. Beetle's son, the awkward kid in the fucking business suit, overdressed, horny guy that's trying to get in the girl's pants.
Yeah.
So they try to do a game with him, and then he's like, I bet you however many dollars that you are not here. They're like, what? What do you mean?
You get existential.
He's like, and so he starts asking questions. He's like, well, you're not in Mexico, are you? They're like, no. He's like, well, you're not in Chicago, are you? I'm like, no, you're not. We're not. He's like, so you must be somewhere else. They're like, yeah, we must be somewhere else. He's like, well, if you're somewhere else, then you couldn't be here because you're somewhere else. And then they're like, you got me, and just give him more cash. And it's so funny because the way that these characters work, they're like these Chad scumbags trying to like manipulate and like prank and like doing these dangerous fucking things, and like just like it's like they're the scammers, but you only ever see money come out of their pocket and given to someone else, and they don't try to dispute it. Like even that one where it's like that's the most bullshit thing that anybody could possibly say. Even then, they're like, "You got me good," and just they're very.
They got honor. They're honor bound.
Exactly. They're very honorable Chad children, and that's all they do with their time. And they have literally nothing else going on in their lives. That's all there is to their character. I don't know what their goals are.
True. Yeah, that's all they do.
That's literally all they do.
Yeah, like why are they even there outside of that?
I don't know. I actually have no idea. It seems like a lot of what this film is just like struggling to find ways to fill up time. I think maybe they filmed the entire plot and then realized like, oh shit, this isn't even feature length.
It
like,
must be something like that.
This is like under 40 minutes, and then they just filled the rest with like shots of a waterfall.
Yeah, establishing shots. Yeah. And like...
the dam with the two logs.
I loved that scene where the girl is like riding the horse. It's one of the few times you see the horse like move. They do it for not only an excruciatingly long amount of time, but there are like 3 songs that they play. Kind of interjecting one like it's like 30 seconds of like a random country song just like awkwardly spliced in to this riding montage, and it's not like edited in smooth either. No. It's not like timed with a cut or anything.
Very
it's just
abrupt.
Like there's just like an awkward like crossfade like just suddenly, and it like makes you jump out your skin. You're not expecting it, and then again it just like ends randomly and just shifts back into the like stock music that's been playing. That was excruciating.
And then when as soon as the like 2 times in the movie where the horse manages to get to the other side of the corral, the cameraman's like, "Ooh, I'll follow her." But it's like he's filming with like one arm and like a peg leg. That was like way more. That was like more shaky cam than a fucking Paul Greengrass film. Like, what the hell was going on?
That was weird because that wasn't in The Talking Cat. Like this weird handheld craziness. It was in there a couple times.
They couldn't fit a dolly there.
No steady cam, that's for sure.
It was shocking.
Yeah, it was wild.
And then the horse, it sounded like this sounded less like a bathroom recording and more like a Skype long distance recording. Like it was particularly compressed, low bit rate audio.
Yeah, it was. And there was a particularly good moment of VO from the horse when it was in one of the scenes where they are purposefully inflicting head injuries in order to try and speak to the horse. And the horse, like, he's got a line where he screams, like, "What about now?" And like the mic like really peaks and it's clearly way too close. And it's like, this is nice. Hell yeah.
There's a part where like one of his lines is like just abruptly cut out. Like he was going to say more, but then they pretended it was the end of a sentence. I wrote that one down. "We'll get to the pail, slash him." And then that was it. And then they much like a talking cat, they just kind of impose these weird rules with the magic. But the talking cat, the magical necklace, like he had an internal dialogue before. He seemed like he knew, like he was aware of some of these rules, or maybe he just chose it. Maybe he's like, I only want to talk.
He's just
to you
like, sorry, that's the rules. He has like a line like that. Yeah.
in this film, I guess like 20 minutes before the end of the movie or something, the horse is like, the magic is finite. And, well, the horse didn't even know about the magic horseshoe before. Like they inferred it, like, oh, it must have been the magic in the horseshoe. But then after like 2 people get bonked, he's like, I don't know. It's probably going to run out. You probably can't do it to everybody, actually.
Yeah, how do you know this?
They just decided that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just making it up as they go along.
Yeah.
It just reminded me with the brothers and the little tricksy games they'd be playing. That scene with the you give me 2 10s for a 5 thing.
The classic.
That triggered this old ass memory I had where when I worked in retail, I had like a scammer like try and do that to me.
Oh, really?
Where it's like a common thing apparently where at like peak times when things are busiest, some people will like get in queues and try and like fluster the person at the cashier and try and stress them out, specifically at busy times. And yeah, he was like doing all that.
Tired looking cashier.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'll give you 2 10s for the 20, and they're like just trying to fluster you. And he like tried it on me. I was like holding this cash, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna get my supervisor. And then he like stressfully kind of ran off.
Yeah, he should have given you super weed before.
I would have given them everything.
Given him everything in the registry.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you 10. You give me 100.
Yeah, I'll give you one coin, £1 coin. You give me all those notes. Okay.
Yeah. So in the credits for this film, much like a talking cat, they credit Big Score Music, and it is a website where you can find music. And I'm hoping that somebody can find like the exact same songs from this movie. If they're still available on the website, and I don't know if they're free download or how much it would cost to license, because I believe that there's like an even funnier edit of this movie where if you have the existing music from this film, you can take all of the scenes where the horse is talking and then just replace it with nothing. You can edit out the horse talking, and then you get the girl going like, look, everybody, he's doing stand-up. And then just like 10-second shot of the horse and like silence and the music's still going and like just, and then they go back like, what? She's not saying anything. I would love to see that perspective. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
That's an untapped market right there. It's like the talking animal movie, but like the audience never hears it either.
There's a whole fan cut potential. Yeah. It's like the real cut, the head injury cut.
Yes.
It's like, what's actually happening.
Yeah. And still keep the same title.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never got the talking pony in this one either. It was just a talking horse.
No. It's crazy. Like, why didn't they just use like Incompetech, you know?
What is that?
Like, every single like one of those YouTube songs that you hear, like they're from Incompetech. It's just like a free place to get songs for YouTube videos that has been around for like decades now, I think. Much higher quality than whatever they're paying for this stuff.
That's probably a license that only exists on YouTube, though. I don't know if you could...
Potentially, yeah.
And I know that these people, they knew that they were like pushing for like a theatrical release, right? Like IMAX.
They want to sell DVDs at least.
They were planning on putting this in the fucking Sphere. They were like, "This. I heard that this thing was going to get built someday, and we got the perfect fucking film." See, I would love if they played this film at the Sphere.
They just play like meme shit, in the Sphere.
I love this movie for a lot of the same reasons I love Aggro Drift. I would love to watch this in a crowd. And every time it goes back,
I would too,
to the exact same establishing shots where nothing has happened, really.
It'd be cheering.
And the talking pony hasn't even shown up until like 30 minutes through the... Like, he doesn't start talking. And then it's mostly inconsequential and just nothing happens. And it's just like a really long property showing and a bunch of little chads tricking each other and bad jokes. I would love to see that in a crowd. I would love
to see that in a crowd.
It would be a great like drunk people movie. And you get to see who the survivors are in the crowd and who was not brave enough to experience art in its truest form.
I had some cowards at my last Breen showing.
Ah,
yeah.
Boo.
And there were some cowards at the Agri Drift showing too.
Oh, yes. Some very loud cowards. They made their presence known.
Yeah. What is this?
But that added to the experience. Worst movie at TIFF!
Yeah.
Stomping out of the fucking theater. Bye-bye. You made my experience better.
True.
So yeah, basically the plot gets wrapped up by, I guess they believe her by the end of it, and they're like, this ranch is special, even though they said it was the horseshoe, not the ranch, but this ranch is special. We're going to turn it into an adventure ranch, and you can make your famous lasagna and serve your, like, I don't know, she'll sell her like aged urine tea or whatever the fuck she gave him. And she's like, I get to be a manager and keep the ranch. So much like the postcard from Earth, love and capitalism wins in the end.
And talking ponies. That is essential too.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, we got a couple horse whinny laughs where the guy was like, hey! Or what, I don't know. Well, I could do that. And all I was thinking is like, well, you could just record a real horse whinny.
Yeah, they already had him in the booth though. They already paid him, That's
a noise that you can make. You don't have to get hit over the head to hear that noise.
I will give that to the horse voice actor. Probably better than Eric Roberts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that does give the edge to the talking cat to me as far as like the humor of whenever it speaks. Whenever the pony / horse is speaking, it's just like, shut up, man.
Yeah. He was like, there was a point in the movie, she was like, I forget what she said to him. She was like, no, just stop talking. Like, go over there. He's like, okay. I'm like, you're going to fucking take that?
Yeah.
Bro? He's like, you're being such a pushover.
This pony's a pushover, yeah.
Yeah. He looked tired.
Oh, he looked so tired. I felt sorry for that guy.
The whole movie, it was just the most tired horse that's not an actor and didn't do anything, and then just walked from one end of the corral to the other twice.
It's just like, why are you looking at me? Why are you filming me? I don't want to be here.
Can I sleep now? Basically the vibe. And it all worked out.
It did work out.
In the end.
Just like Romeo and Juliet, it worked out for everyone.
Oh, yes. It was a very Shakespearean type story. Another thing in the credits, it advertised a website. It advertised funfamilyfeatures.com. And I went there and...
I saw that in the opening. I noted that down.
No one's paying for the domain anymore, so...
Shocker.
There was an archive on Internet Archive, and it was just more films from David DeCoteau, basically.
Yeah.
Just his catalog being displayed there. But
I can believe that.
Has he made anything recently? He doesn't believe in websites anymore?
Nah. He's got IMDb. That's all he needs.
Oh, it's funny? His IMDb profile picture, I don't remember... I think this was like 2008 or whatever. There was like some sort of like attemptedly viral thing.
This no hate thing.
Yeah, I think it might have had to do with like gay rights or something. Like there was like a Proposition 8.
Okay.
I think, it was probably Prop 8 trying to be passed, which was like a gay marriage thing.
Yeah.
But you look at, whenever I see the profile photo, just the way that it looks on his head, it looks like... I just kept reading it as no ho ho because it looks like two O's, and I was like, I don't know, no ho ho, and he's got tape over his mouth, and he's like,
man, he's still going strong. This year already, he's made 3
movies already in 2024. $1 million lethal listing. That's a title.
We're in April.
He's
can't stop him.
Think of it this way. If every film you make has some sort of passive income that you continue to receive paychecks for the rest of your life, and let's say it's on like Tubi, or like maybe like on YouTube, or like, anywhere. Let's do the math. If you make $10 off of each of these films per year,
he's got 181,
right?
181 direct credits.
Yeah. So if they're making as little as $10 a year each, then what? He's getting $2,000 a year. We have to assume it's probably more than that. Like, he's probably doing pretty well.
It must be. It must be.
He's continuing to do it. It's his job.
Someone must be funding it.
This certainly isn't his like side gig. I should hope. You never know, actually.
Yeah, you do never know.
He could be an Uber driver.
True.
He could be doing a couple things, but
True.
Damn, that's a lot. 180 films in like 40 years, basically. That's a lot.
It's a little bit silly. Yeah.
Fun character. I wonder what the highest rated film.
It must be Talking Cat, right? I'm very curious about Santa's Summer House, because the animal in that is a corgi, so I feel like
what the fuck?
Obligated.
Santa's Summer House?
It's not called a talking corgi though. It's just Santa's Summer House. It's from the same year.
There's no exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation.
No,
it's the
but
same
it's the
year.
same, like, the poster is like the same style.
Oh my god.
Like the same board even. And
after question time, it's your turn to recommend.
it's a different writer as well.
We could continue the streak.
Nah, I've already got my revenge in mind.
Yeah, it wouldn't really be revenge if you just
Yeah, that'd be too much of a treat. It would be too much of a treat in the Spike era.
My vengeance recommendation was a treat.
Well, not if you go by my rating for a talking pony.
Oh no.
You know what? This one's getting a 1 out of 10, but with a like. Whereas a talking cat.
Oh, you liked it though. You liked
10 out of 10 with no like. The cat one. This one is a 1 out of 10 with a like.
Okay.
You can interpret that however you feel like that comes across.
All right, I'm giving a talking pony easy 10. 10 out of 10.
So we're completely inverse right here right now.
Yeah, this is the most discrepancy we've ever had.
Yeah.
In a single episode between our ratings.
This is the one that's
this as far as you could possibly get in an episode.
Oh man.
But like, we talked about the Talking Pony one for a good while. Despite 60% of the movie being establishing shots, it was a very densely packed film with a lot of things to appreciate, a lot of details. Just, a lot. It's got a lot going for it. I would buy the Blu-ray.
Let's be real though. It's those iconic brothers. It's the brothers.
The brothers.
They all do it. They really are what elevate it.
I mean, they were in it. They were part of the movie. I liked it.
Well, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you found this gem, this diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck I found it, but made it onto my watch list at some point.
That's what IMDb is good at sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were both free on YouTube in HD.
Yeah, they were like official uploads. It wasn't any shady stuff.
Didn't even have to pirate it.
Yeah.
All right, question time.
Whew. Okay, let's do a couple questions here from the Sardonicast community. Head over to the suggestion thread over on the subreddit, just like Zojaga did. If you want to leave questions for future episodes. Are you guys excited about The Matrix 5? Yeah, man.
In what way?
Woo! I guess there's a recent announcement. Drew Goddard is attached to, I guess, carry on the quote-unquote legacy. I don't know. I don't care. It's just another one of those franchises. Just let it die. I'll probably see it because I don't know. I saw 4, and that was something. I'm actually more interested that the Wachowskis are not involved, kind of, because I mean,
I'm unsurprised.
Yeah, I'm unsurprised as well. And a weird name, I guess.
Yeah, director of The Cabin in the Woods and Bad Times at El Royale, and that's it. And he's produced a bunch of shit too, but
yeah. So interesting, but it's just like, I don't know. The Matrix is kind of like Back to the Future in my mind, which I just leave it. It's fine. They tried.
I'm curious about it, and I'll react to the trailer. I'll probably watch the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious what I really want to know if he's able to capture the original trilogy in a better way than the fourth movie did.
Yeah.
Because that's on the table. Because the fourth movie didn't very much at all.
But that's kind of why I'm surprised by this news at all, because I was not under the impression that it did very well. Like Matrix 4, where I guess they're just cashing in on the brand recognition as a whole and just hoping if the movie's better, it would make more money.
It didn't do well, I don't think, but I think they did I think that was when they were doing the...
It was COVID too, huh?
Yeah, it was while they were releasing it at the same time on HBO Max. So
maybe they made money on it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, Dune got a sequel. They did the same thing then.
Yeah.
So they have some metrics to gauge interest, at least.
Yeah. They would have done the numbers, I'm sure, but I don't know. It's not an exciting franchise to me at this point. It's come and gone in my mind. Just fucking let it die.
Make 10. Make 10 of them.
I mean, we're pretty much there. We'll be halfway there once this shit comes out.
Yeah, if Keanu Reeves is in it, people will probably see it. So
yeah. Anyway, Vince is depressed. Has this to ask. Hello, Sards. What public domain character would work as a creepy version? This recent schlock is nothing more than a lazy cash grab, which creepy version of classic characters could work. I think Peter Pan, because his story is unintentionally creepy, or do what Batman did with the Mad Hatter, a psycho who dresses up like the character and commits crimes. I'm kind of going to reject this whole idea, because I'm sure you've seen this Winnie the Pooh like horror universe that they're trying to set up or whatever in these films. This trend is just lame to me.
It's a gimmick.
It's corny. It's a gimmick, and yeah, it's only done because you get
gimmick films are usually not great.
Yeah, you get the free advertising of like, look what they did to Winnie the Pooh. Isn't this crazy? And it's like that's normally all they have as a concept, and then you watch the movie and it's like just nothing.
Yeah,
just the most forgettable, boring, lame shit you've ever seen. And it's like, look, we're doing a whole MCU of it.
I heard that Blood and Honey 2 has a 100% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, it does just become like a marketing thing. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's a very good way of coming up with like a fun story. If that's all it is, it's like it's a gimmick idea for a concept. And that, that can be entertaining for like a little short or something, but for a full film of like, it's fucking... Yeah, this...
You can do it. You just need talented people doing it. That's literally just it's a pretty easy answer.
You need to have an idea.
You just need a talented person to do it.
Mm-hmm. But I think there's a reason a lot of the talented filmmakers don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, if it was that rich of an idea, I'm sure we would have mined it a little bit more at this point. But yeah, most examples of this are just fucking lame.
So you don't have an answer? As in, you don't have there's no idea in your head of like what could work. You like Peter Pan, maybe, but
I think some of these things are creepier when they are like packaged as a kid's thing, like the donkey stuff in Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's creepy as hell. Like I don't need it to be creepier.
Yeah,
and those examples are already out there, I suppose. But
you could do like Alice in Wonderland meets Climax, like a really bad trip.
Yeah. Like a R-rated Danger Mouse. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Hardcore Danger Mouse. Yeah.
We just need... I'm more interested in like ruining characters that people care about.
He's someone that would like really be upset. Like, what's a character that people that... Maybe Sonic?
Yeah, maybe Sonic. There's some fans. Would Sonic fans like an R-rated Sonic? Probably not, right?
That's the thing. They probably want... No, they want R-rated Shadow the Hedgehog going around with machine guns on his motorbike.
Oh, yeah.
They would see that and they would like it.
What's a good one? What's a good one that... Because, like, sometimes I think of a universe that's set up in, like, a kid's movie type property, And I think surely there's more death and destruction happening, actually. Right?
Yeah.
Like Pokemon,
Depends.
somebody made that edit. Did you ever see that YouTube edit where somebody took, I think from like Mewtwo Strikes Back? Somebody made a very convincing, I think when I was like really young, I was like, oh, it's real. But essentially they took the scene where Mewtwo breaks out of the like containment lab, but then they spliced in like an entire scene from another anime where like people are getting like blasted by lasers, like a bunch of scientists are getting like gored and shit.
Oh, I might have seen that actually. Yeah, you're triggering an ancient memory.
Yeah, that was cool. But I don't know if we necessarily need that with Pokemon. I don't know, like fucking, I guess, do we have R-rated Godzilla movies? That's not even like a kid's thing. I watched the new, we'll probably talk about this next week, but
yeah,
I always think about these like gigantic casualty, death and destruction movies that are also for children and just how detached the overall sense of devastation is. But you don't really think about the people in the buildings. They're just like
Zack Snyder kind of single-handedly changed that entire perspective with the Man of Steel thing, where people
I never watched
were
that.
like, oh, this is like a level of violence, and it's depicted in such like an intense way that it got people thinking like, oh yeah, this is intense. There's a level we're not really thinking about here. And then every single like superhero movie after that point had to overcompensate for that. You got to have the 5-minute sequence where they get everyone out of the city first, or try and minimize casualties, because it is such a like, that's a lot of destruction. This is conjuring some kind of fucked up imagery.
Yeah, I don't know. There's you would have to like take the IP and essentially make your own movie out of it anyway, in a way that you would essentially be writing an original property. Like if you wanted to do like a really good like Mickey Mouse horror movie or something.
Yeah. Or like even like Invincible is kind of like Superman with some more layers going on, some characterization that's like stronger than some of the typical stories I've seen anyway.
Yeah, we just need someone talented, and I'm sure a talented person could make any concept work. It just depends on how it's presented.
Yeah. Right. Should we do one more kind of chunky one here?
You like them chunky?
I like them big. I like them chunky. Plumpy, even. Toys Noise can take it away then. How do you feel about parasocial relationships existing in your own respective audiences? Does the risk of a fan crossing boundaries ever raise anxieties? Adam and Alex, I've been watching your content for well over a decade. I know a lot about your opinions on various topics. I know things about your lives and friends. You've both had impacts on me bigger than I may realize, and yet neither of you even know my name. We will likely never meet. I could never out of the blue start a discussion with even a small celebrity like, say, Patton Oswalt, but I can easily send Adam a super chat that he'll see and respond to immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing. And it's something I think about when I meet people in person, and there is like a catch-up you've almost got to play where it's like, oh man, you know all this stuff about me. I got to like catch up quick on you. I'm like, oh, what's your story? Like, how do we get here? Really interesting dynamic that I find that can have some weird moments as a result of it. Yeah. Yeah.
The only the times where I want to break away from that conversation are mostly just like if it turns into just I'm doing a Q&A. Because that feels like work to me. Like I'll do that like on a stream or something.
Yeah, I hear you.
If I'm in an environment where I'm not on my stream and I'm not making a video and I'm not making content, there's conversations that can be had, but I would just prefer it not to be like, what's your favorite movie? Like that type of stuff. Like, oh, did you saw that? And I'm like, okay, like these things I'm talking about every other day of my life. And so when I'm taking a break, I would just rather not have that. So I'm, fans say hi. I'll take a picture if you want to chat a bit or whatever, but just, learn the cues. And if it looks like I'm already in the middle of a conversation with somebody else, then just keep it brief or something, because I'll want to go back to that.
I think just keeping it brief is a good rule for the most part in general.
Yeah.
You don't like socially kind of trap someone.
Yeah, and like obviously the people that are doing that don't necessarily realize they're doing it. There's a variety of different people and different social skills, and so it's like, you don't harbor any ill will towards those people, but just it's better to get the word out, I guess, so to speak, just to not ideally not have as many of those, I guess. But I mean, the overwhelming majority of fan interactions I have are very positive. So.
Yeah, same. I don't think I've ever had any particularly bad ones outside of one or two. And even then, it's not bad. It's just, some social cues being missed, or it's just wrong place, wrong time type thing.
Yeah, and also, here's a fun thing that I don't think a lot of people consider. There are some days where you just feel so socially drained. And like, to the person that might see me or interact with me, that's probably maybe the only time they're ever going to see me. So I understand the want and, the feeling of need to like have some kind of moment or interaction with that. But sometimes I'm just having like a bad day, like not super often, but there's some days where I'm just like, where I'm just thinking like, man, I can't like talk to anybody right now. Some days where like I felt like kind of sick before I watched like Dune Part 2. I had to like take some Pepto-Bismol, and I was like, I almost didn't even see it. I like Scoot was driving me to the theater, and I was like, just turn around, I'll just go back home. And then I changed my mind, and we turned it back around again. I was like, I'm going to tough it out. It was like the like super special fan advance screening. I was like, I won't be able to see it again for a week, and my boyfriend won't be in town, and he wants to see it with me. I'm like, okay, I wound up seeing it. And so I was like so fucking out of it. And somebody at the theater said hi and like asked for a photo and everything. And in my mind, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so like, I didn't hate the person, and I didn't hate the way that they interacted with me. It was very positive. But in my mind, I was just like, oh man, I'm probably not coming off as like,
you're not your best. Yeah.
Very personable. They probably think I'm an asshole. And then they left the comment on my video being like, oh, thanks for taking a picture. That was great. Thanks for saying hi. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe it was just in my head.
Yeah, probably was. Yeah. Just overthinking it.
Yeah. But sometimes the internal perspective can kind of just like overshadow and like throw a lens on everything you're experiencing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm normally not an asshole. Yeah. With, I guess in terms of like parasocial relationships, like they exist, and I'm trying to navigate what the boundaries are and not overstep my boundaries and not do anything like inappropriate. But I don't know, I'm just like I'm the type of person where like if there's some sort of thing that's like actually an issue, like I'm willing to say it. So
yeah, do you ever get does it ever raise anxieties for you, or would you say that's a rarity? Because it's definitely a rarity for me.
It's a rarity, yeah.
Because a lot of the ways like some of it manifests is just kind of like humorous or interesting to me. Like over on the Jarcast, where there's like this guy, don't even know his name. He's just called like the Jar Finder, and you can just say like, oh, what was the episode where he said this thing, and he just knows, and like people use him to like find things. It's like, well, yeah, clearly there's like a level of like dedication there that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
But there's no one being hurt by that. It's just like fun, and this like part of this community.
You're like creating media, and if somebody really connects with that media, then they'll, if they watch it more than once, they might have more, better memories, or, maybe just like a more encyclopedic type of brain.
Some people just find it fun. Like I feel, I'm not like at that level with anything, but I felt that like parasocial pull to like other creators who've inspired me, or podcasters I've listened to for a long time. I do get it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
As long as it stays within the realm of like just fun and silliness. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess with myself, like I'm in a different position where like I have a lot of interactions with people that I've only ever met online, and then I'm meeting in person.
Yeah.
And you get used to it after a while, in the sense of like, you're able to just like have a normal conversation with a person. Like I'm a big fan of like RM Brown's YouTube channel. He's a lot smaller, but I met him when I went to South by Southwest, and it was like we just hung out. I think most people, especially people with like much larger audiences, like actual celebrities and directors and actors and stuff, like it's pretty clear to me, like most people, if you interact with them at all, they want to be treated like just any other person. They don't want to be, constantly in this like having to perform or having to like be on for somebody. And that's a feeling that someone can have if they feel like it's more of like a fan interaction versus, just being, if you say hi or something to someone that has, super famous, they just, it's better if you treat them like it's not a big deal, which I know is very difficult because there's a lot of like, to people that have never met anyone with any level of like fame or whatever. Oops, sorry, that's my phone. Sorry. That have never met anyone with any level of fame or whatever. There's this weird, human beings have this thing in our brains where like, if we're not exposed to something firsthand and we like are aware that it's a thing and we treat these like celebrities in a weird way and we put them like on social pedestals and like all these concepts of like ideas of like fame and like social climbing or like association, or like people will have like panic attacks in their head of like, fuck, am I going to say the wrong thing? Like a lot of the interactions that I have are people like apologizing in the sense that where they're like, oh, I'm sorry if I'm being awkward. I'm like, no, it's no big deal. Like that's fine. But I understand that like the psychology of the human brain, there's a lot of weird pressures that get placed on us when it comes to just things that people are unfamiliar with. It's the same thing in our brains that like makes the fucking majority of the population just like absolutely psychotic over things like sex, because it's just generally hidden from society, right? And so people have all these weird fucking like insecurities and like traumas and
and there's that great line in the first Men in Black of all things where it says something like, individuals are smart, people are stupid. People are like when they group up, when they get into these like frenzied scenarios, they just be different, they'd be crazy. These social pressures, you don't even realize it sometimes, but they are strong. They got power, these expectations.
I think the only time I was like really nervous talking to someone was Charlie Kaufman, because I hold him on such a high regard, and I've calmed down since then, but also keep in mind that was literally the first interview I ever did on my channel. That was my first interview, was meeting like my fucking favorite screenwriter and somebody that's like
never meet your idols,
literally influenced my life in such a huge way. And even more so at this point, as I'm, growing and recontextualizing his films and everything. But I felt like if I met him again, I would be less scared. You can definitely hear like a shakiness in my voice in that interview. But it's something that you get over, I guess. But
it's just part of growth.
A lot of people don't have that opportunity to have that experience often.
For sure.
All right. So Alex is going to hurt me with his recommendation. Is the plan. Maybe I'll love it.
I did double check and I didn't see a rating.
All right.
I don't think you'd given this a rating.
All right.
2011 film, right?
Oh.
Disney.
I'm scared already.
Directed by Simon Wells, who we actually have covered before, weirdly, with Prince of Egypt. But this time I want to talk about Mars Needs Moms. Mars Needs Moms?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mars Needs Moms.
Yeah. I wanted to shift to more of a mom type movie.
All right. That wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah. It could be worse.
So what's have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen Mars Needs Moms.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I won't ask you too many questions.
I just kind of need you to see this. Yeah.
All right. So it's a must see.
I'd say it's a must see.
It's like a required viewing.
It's kind of one of those Mars Mom movies everyone should have in their databanks. Yeah.
If you ever watch a movie with Mars and moms in it, this is top of your list. You need to
needs moms. It's it's one of the it's one of the movie titles that is just like really stuck with me for some reason.
Yeah.
Mars needs moms.
Yeah, it's a necessity. Okay. All right. We'll see how this one goes. I have not seen this. So
yeah, I'm very curious. Yeah.
It'll be a fresh experience.
And do you know anything about it? You don't know anything?
I know it was a flop. That's all I know about it.
Okay, cool. So you don't. Cool. There's some funny shit to do with this movie.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. If you don't want to be spoiled for Mars Needs Moms, directed by Simon Wells, watch it before the next episode. These episodes come out every 2 weeks. You can listen to them early by going to Sardonicast.com. Sign up for premium. It's only $2 a month, and you get to support the show. Also, Patreon.com/Sardonicast. You get to be ahead of the fucking curve. We post the episodes early there, and you know that we get to hear about the things we're saying before everybody else. And you support the show. We got merch, links in the description. Merch link in the description. We got a Sardonicast highlights channel on YouTube. Subscribe to that. Hit the bell on the regular channel. Why don't you?
Hit that bell.
It's free. The bell is free. All right. Have a happy...
Have a happy mom.
Better have a happy mom.
You need that happy mom. Well, Mars ain't gonna be happy.
Yeah, get your mom happy. Show your mom Mars needs moms.
Yeah, watch it with your mama.
Yeah. Perfect Mother's Day gift is the Blu-ray for Mars Needs Moms. Especially if your name is Mars. She'll be like, "Aw, you need me."
Make me emotional.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.